5, 7, we're going.
Hello.
Hey, hi, welcome. We're alive.
We survived.
We made it.
We did it.
It happened. San Diego Comic-Con happened.
We
Wow.
came. We conned.
We
We
conned.
conquered.
It was. Well, I worked, so it was a con job.
I got a small laugh off camera. That's all I wanted.
That's all you want. Is,
Oh, that was a bigger laugh.
if you can make Chief laugh, then somebody gets.
No
a
one
wish.
can make Chief laugh.
No, it's why there's no wishes.
Chief has no humor.
As anybody who has tuned in Tuesday night knows that may not be true.
That's certainly not true. I hated Chief not being at Hall H. I don't think he was in Hall H because they had all the big Ant-Man reveals and everything, and that's his favorite character.
That's right. You made it to Hall. Well,
We're in there?
Yep.
he did. He made it.
Boop, bop. I was in the press cage. I stood for an hour and a half. It was worth it.
It is, to be fair, a literal cage.
It's an actual cage. They're not wrong calling it the press cage. They're not wrong.
It's a lot of pressing.
Lot of pressing in a cage. Because there's like, hey, there's room for like 25 people in here, but we got 50 press. Press in. I think that's where the press gets
Press
its name
comes from.
Maybe.
You
Yeah.
can fit so many in a small room. Hi, everybody.
Totally worth it. Hi.
Welcome to the Wednesday Club, especially if this is your first or second episode, if you saw our thing at San Diego Comic-Con.
San Diego.
We made a little video that was technically without you, although we mentioned you. And
Well, I was already down there. I was
You
too
were busy.
excited.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell our lovely producer Liz that I was already going to be down there.
I took care of it. It's okay.
No, you guys did wonderfully, and Erica was wonderful also.
Big thanks to Erica
big
Ishii
thanks
for
to
filling
Erica
in
Ishii.
last week as we did our pre-Comic-Con special. And now we've all been to San Diego. We've made it through the wonderful and overwhelming experience that is San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep.
And we are back for, what is this episode called?
This is called Comic-Con 2, The Wrath of Khan. I feel so bad.
Every single week, you give me like every single week I come in thinking, I can't love Taliesin or Amy more than I already do, and then you each give me a reason to love you even more.
You poor guys are going to get my cheese speech. It's really exciting.
Before we start, Travis Willingham told me that he's watching tonight and that if I don't give him a shout out, he'll rip me apart. So, hi, Travis
That seems
Willingham.
like a legit threat.
Hi, Travis.
Yeah, he's my height in both directions.
Yeah.
So, 6'5" also in the shoulder.
No, he's
He's a lovable teddy bear, but
you know,
the man defines CrossFit.
Yeah, and he is living CrossFit. You don't
His
want to
superpower
much
is
like a
that-
bear. You don't want to wake him up. That's
Yeah,
like another
yeah,
thing too.
yeah.
It's bad.
All right. Anyway, tell us.
Life tips.
Tell us. Hi, Travis. Tell us all everything.
Hi, Travis. I'm about to make a West Wing quote because this is. Does anybody know about the cheese speech from the West Wing quote?
Heard about it, but I've never seen
I've heard
it.
about it through you.
Okay, so I'm gonna give for those of you who are West Wing fans, you know what I'm talking about. It's one of the best episodes. I think it's 2 episodes of West Wing. But in the meantime, I'm gonna give a bit of this, which is the cheese speech is given somewhere in the first season. And it starts, I am making a mental list of those who are snickering, and even as I speak, I'm preparing appropriate retribution. A block of cheese was huge. It was over 2 tons, and it was there for any and all who might be hungry. Jackson wanted the White House to belong to the people, and so from time to time, he opened the doors to those who wished an audience. And it's a whole episode about basically opening yourself up to new experiences and listening to things. My block of cheese speech. There used to be a convention called the Ape Show, the Alternative Press Expo.
Wait, that doesn't exist anymore? You
Not
said
that
used to.
I don't think it's around anymore. Like, I've had trouble finding it. It used to be in San Francisco. I think
Yeah.
it may have fizzled.
Oh no, because that
Please
was done
correct
by
me if I'm wrong.
It was done by the same
People do
CCI,
Comic-Con and WonderCon.
Yeah.
The Alternative Press Expo was amazing. It was a giant warehouse in San Diego, and no publisher you had ever heard of was there. There were very few, the seminars mostly on self-publishing, how to make books, the best ways to profit and figure out how to price your homemade comic books. There was a company, if you're aware of, called Slave Labor Graphics, was the largest comic book company that came there, and they were considered sellouts and corporate bastards, everyone. And if you knew
Wow.
slave labor, that's hilarious because they would fit on this table.
Wow.
And I would go down there. I would make my way by bus, by friend's car, however I could to San Francisco. And I would allot myself, depending on how I was doing in life, and this was usually my standard, I would give myself 50 $2 bills, $100 worth of $2 bills, and I had a big leather doctor's satchel. And I would spend these $2 bills and I would fill that satchel with whatever book looked vaguely interesting, whatever pitch I would make people, it's like, give me the 3-sentence pitch for your book, and if it was interesting, it went in the bag.
Yep.
And 75, 80% of those books were yeah, whatever. But that 20% was gold. It was just gold. And I've brought some of them here and shown them to people, these just weird little books. And so, in the interest of the $2 bill experiment at APE that I love so much, I gave my co-host and myself $100 in $2 bills that thankfully we can write off because we do this for the internet.
Do it for a living!
To buy weird stuff, whether it be old books, new books, like definitely just find things that you want to show, that you want to share, and let's come back with a giant pile of weird stuff that you're not going to find on the internet if you're just watching like the Comic-Con coverage. And I figure we're just going to go in an awful messy round of show and tell.
Love it.
Taliesin made us. He didn't just do this, which
Yeah.
was already a
Already
fantastic
fantastic,
idea.
Oh, no.
yeah.
Taliesin made us Comic-Con survival kits.
It's so ugly. Oh God.
It's the best.
It was the
They
best.
Included, like, they're lined. They're lined
I didn't
with
have
cool,
any. I only have the pins and the
Yeah,
cards in
2
there.
pouches,
Yeah.
I know.
But I also have. He
cool
gave
lining.
he gave us tattoos and whale stickers because you got to have those.
They're
He gave
essential.
us a Sharpie, which totally came in handy.
Yep.
It does.
It comes in very handy.
Some, like, fizzy energy water drink
Energy
mix,
drink,
B
yeah.
vitamin drink, yeah.
Yep.
which I'm a little frightened of and haven't tried yet.
Thank you, Zip Fizz.
No, Zip Fizz is great.
Zip Fizz, my energy drink of choice.
Are we showing these off? Did
Yeah,
we?
let's do it.
Oh, yeah, go
Let's
ahead.
do it.
It's time.
Show it off. I handed out quite a bit of those.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
I handed these to a lot of confused people. Do you have any of the white ones?
I should.
I have them in
Making
my
a
bag. I'll
mess
show
here.
them at
both.
the.
No, it's okay. Make a mess.
We'll tweet them out. Yeah, make a mess.
I'm making a mess.
We'll clean it
Card
up.
party.
Yeah, card party.
Card
party.
rules. These amazing things.
We made. Yeah, we have to kind of lean them up to show people. We made stickers. And we made buttons with our little Wednesday W's, and you can see we can made them in purple.
Some of these are M's.
Some of these are M's right now: yellow, red, purple, and rainbow.
And rainbow.
The rainbow went quick.
Yeah, it did.
Really quick. Like purple, yellow. Oh. So.
It was
great.
honestly delightful. It was such a fun way to do it. The great thing was there was only one person that I approached when I was like, yeah, I'm just going to pay in these, who looked just terrified.
Yeah.
I went ahead and put that one purchase on the card because that person was like, I'm so sorry. Someone bought things with these a while ago and I had them for 2 years. I didn't know what to do with them.
God.
Like,
A while ago, yeah, 2 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a while.
so that person I paid with card.
What's interesting is that like you gave me the twos and I was like, oh, this is fun. How quirky. And then but that was every single vendor's reaction and be like, what? Oh my God, this is.
Are
and
you
I had
Mary Poppins? Who are you?
Yeah, and I had a couple vendors like, I actually want a few more of those. Do you mind if I give you a 10, can I have some more twos? And I was like, yeah, 2, 4,
sure.
6, 8, 10, thank you. Yeah, I had that happen a few times, yeah.
Nice.
An old friend
So-
of mine named Joseph Newhouse taught me that $2 bills make everybody delighted, or at least confused, and then immediately you know where you stand with them. So
Yeah,
that was very
and most people were delighted.
mostly delighted.
Yeah, mostly delighted. Yeah, mostly delighted.
You can order them from your bank.
How are we going to do this?
Well, let me start with this real quick. When we
Actually, before I
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
asked
wait.
and answered by myself
How
this
are we-
question.
how are we gonna do this? How are you gonna do this?
Before we
How do you
get
wanna do
into
this?
all of the wonderful stuff that we got, I want to stop and say thank you to everybody who said hi.
yes, that was
so
the
good
best. Thank
to meet
you
so
so
many
much.
of y'all down at Comic-Con. We got some very special.
You have,
Oh,
you
well,
have
here, I've got
pictures, I
this,
have
I've got
video,
this.
there's all sorts of
Yeah, we have all
things.
kinds of
From
stuff.
J.A. Penrose.
Which we've been saying Japan Rose, and it turns out
Japan
it's J.A. Penrose. Very sorry.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that I actually didn't get to meet you. I apologize, but it was great. I believe
Not
Devin.
bragging, I did.
No, did you really?
I did.
Aw.
I got to.
I'm jealous.
It's also, and I don't know if they know, Penrose is also the reason why we don't have Scotch tape on our books right
Really?
now. We have little clips,
Aww.
which we'll be using until the frames are finished. We're working on a cool little thing.
Thank you,
So
Penrose.
this is a custom Death of Superman can chase card. Cans continue to fly and bounce around the local Good Foods market. Packages of cereal and oatmeal stumble from falling shelves. Shelves snap and break as they knock into each other, causing a chain reaction of shelves toppling and scattering their wares. Debris and dozens of cans litter the floor, covering a day's doomsday and causing customers to flee out the smash doors, grabbing free cans on their way out. It looks like
Just doesn't
this.
like cans.
And then it's
More
got our
cans over
little
here.
logo on top.
Look at that.
This is honestly fantastic.
Holy cow.
Really amazing.
Fantastic.
Really cool.
Wonderful work. The poor Good Foods, which we all knew was devastated in Doomsday's attack.
Too good for this world. Good foods.
But yeah, Amy, that's I think the correct direction to go. Thank you, fans.
Whole Foods quality at Trader Joe's prices. Good foods. Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
The Good Foods mythology will grow.
Good foods.
But yeah,
Someone got superpowers
all of
there.
you fans are wonderful. I joined the Discord today.
Yay!
I'll do that soon.
Yeah, I had to tweet out like, can someone please send me a link? I don't know how this works. I'm almost 40, and they did, and they were very loving and receptive. So thank you for accepting me into
I saw
your
that. I'm
wonderful
gonna
online community.
Take advantage of that as
Yeah,
well.
no, take advantage.
Yes.
Take advantage, old man.
No brain.
So what I want to so Brittany and I got there on Wednesday night, and we both had press passes, which is super fun. That's how I got into Hall H. But skin on my teeth, I'll tell that story because I think we'll have time. But on the bags, this is the first time I've ever seen this. On the bags, they had Justice League pins. This one is Batman. It's a little reflective.
There we go.
I got Supergirl.
Did you really? Oh,
I didn't get my
sweet.
bag.
So every year now,
so
for
yeah.
the last like several years at Con, there are these giant bags, usually sponsored
They're
by Warner
huge.
Brothers.
Yeah, they're
they're
massive,
just
yeah.
enormous.
Like, I'm 6'5" and they cover my whole back. Yeah.
They are really good for carrying a whole bunch of stuff around the floor. But this year they had bonus goodies, which were these little pins. So theoretically you could run around and like try to collect them all. I just stuck with my Supergirl.
How many? Do we know how many different pins they made, or?
I don't. I know that everyone was clamoring for Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
That was
well.
apparently the find of the show.
This was the year of Wonder Woman.
This is Wonder
It
Woman's
was
year.
a really good show for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it really was. It
There
really
was-
was.
Yeah, like even cosplay friends. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, movie Wonder Woman. I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah.
All right.
My
Yeah.
friends over at Nerdist had a Wonder Woman March.
That's right,
Which
they
I think
did.
I forgot to put my pictures of in the folder, so we probably don't have loaded up. But you can Google the Nerdist Wonder Woman March.
I will put my friend Cynthia did an amazing movie Wonder Woman. I gotta pull
Yeah?
that up. Yeah. Oh God.
I saw a lot. Like I saw, and here's what's kind of funny is that like typically when like this big wave of cosplay hits, I'm typically like not annoyed. I'm just like, whatever. Like, of course everyone's doing. Like, of course everyone's Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad and Joker. Like, all right, whatever. But this year it was like everyone is Wonder Woman, and this is the greatest thing ever because like I feel like that Wonder Woman movie is such a watershed. It's such a movement, and like I saw a couple dudes dressed as Wonder Woman. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
yes, do it. I should have dressed as Wonder Woman.
We had a
Like,
man
yeah.
lift, man. That felt good. That was
What's
like,
that?
We had to do. We had a key
Oh
lift,
yeah,
the guy key lift cosplayer.
yeah,
It
man
was
lift.
Man lift. We were
Yeah,
like,
it was
oh,
great.
Good. It was damn.
That was a
Damn, we're
fun
rocking.
panel. That
Yeah,
was a
we were-
great
we were
panel
laughing.
too.
We were having a
the
good time.
Critical Role panel. Yeah.
It was a good time. I always like thinking of Comic-Con. I go with a little bit of my like weird cultural. I'm sure you're getting used to like the weird way that I interpret data from the world.
If it
no
seems
one-
normal by now, it wouldn't be any fun.
Thank you.
I don't think anyone gets used to it, Taliesin, and that's why we love you
But
so
like
much.
I find that Comic-Con's really useful for kind of taking a little bit of a cultural temperature. Like you go,
Yes.
you get a real sense. There's an interesting series of data points between like who's cosplaying what's being cosplayed more, how many creators are out hawking what wares, what people are buying like down in the dirt where things are $2 to $5, what people are spending a lot of the money on. What trailers the big companies are trying to sell, who's reacting how to what. Like you can really get a sense. Pop culture is it's a reflection of who we are right now, and you learn a lot looking at yourself. And you really like a lot of the smart kids go down there to see where pop culture is heading.
It's heading, yeah. That's actually a really good interpretation.
It was
of
a
what,
good vibe.
I mean, because Comic-Con has become pop culture. Con.
It's pop
like,
culture.
It's pop culture con now. You know, it's like it really is kind of the direction of where everything is going.
We have our little books, but and I love our little books.
Yeah. So I thought
town.
also
That's where the culture comes from.
I brought the Comic-Con basics, all
I
this
did as
stuff.
well.
Oh, very
Okay,
nice.
so let's walk this through. What are these? What did we
What
get?
are these things you have
This
here?
is your first swag when you
So
get
this
to
is the first
Comic-Con.
swag you get. First of all, here's my badge. I brought my badge.
That's a
If
very
you
nice
can-
badge. And you
It's
have
got some Wednesday Club
some buttons and some
buttons
swag.
on there. And
Dead.
some
The exact
The Walking
backwards.
Dead.
Yes, I'm nailing it.
So, but here's the thing to know about the badge. Also, is that
Everything
in
is a
recent
problem, I'm
years,
so sorry.
in recent years, these have like sort of like magnetic coating,
It's an
and you have to
RFID
like
chip.
Yeah. And you have to scan in and out of the convention everywhere you go.
It was relatively smooth this year. The first
like a
year or
80s
two
heist
of
film.
transition was rough, but
Yeah.
like this
Not
year
bad.
we kind of
And then
got used to it.
this is the souvenir book. The souvenir book has like a lot of different like essays and stuff like that, talking about kind of like the theme of the convention. And this year was Jack Kirby.
There were two centennials this year that kind
Yeah.
of formed the heart of programming at a lot of Comic-Con, which is the two people who would be turning 100, Jack Kirby and Will Eisner.
Yeah, Will Eisner here.
Names which, if we're doing our jobs, you will hear nearly every week for the rest of your lives.
I was about to
Which is
say,
how long this show is
I have
running,
been
right?
wanting, there's
Weeks
been
and
one
weeks and
particular
weeks.
Jack Kirby poster I've been wanting for like my entire adult life.
And
I walked onto the floor and it was for sale and I immediately bought it. And I didn't use Wednesday Club money, I used my own money, which is why I did. But I just want to like if you want to see
It's
into
so
the heart, my very soul, this is what the inside of my soul looks like.
it's beautiful.
It looks a
Your
lot like
soul
this.
is gorgeous, Taliesin.
Yeah, I did
It's
that.
vibrant and celestial and beautiful.
And it was.
And you bought that at Heavy Metal.
I bought it at the Heavy Metal booth, and it
Yeah.
was. And bless Jack Kirby, he drew it for the CIA because he's a.
Oh, that's right. That's the Argo.
That was classified art up until it was like suddenly a whole bunch of Jack Kirby's work
amazing.
became. We'll do a whole episode on it at some point of like Kirby, but like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll probably never do a Kirby episode.
no.
Who are we
That
kidding?
guy.
He's not important.
That guy. Then you got the quick guide, which is actually you never use the quick guide. It's just like
handy.
it's
I
the
need a
maps
map.
and
I
like
need
the
an
the
index.
room. It's the maps, the rooms, the programming. Here you
So
go.
here is what programming looks like at Comic-Con. What's going on in these rooms?
It looks like you're winning prizes at McDonald's Monopoly.
Yeah.
It does.
So, and then and this, by the way, this all comes with your bag when you first arrive. They're like, here's all of this stuff.
We haven't technically spent any money yet. here.
And then this is the
Well, the badge costs
the
money.
bash,
e-
yeah.
event guide, and
These
and
I
that
use a
is
lot.
like, here's like all your programming in detail, every single panel you could attend.
Is that Eisner's The Spirit on the cover? It is Eisner's Spirit.
Is it?
and,
Rick and Morty.
and The Walking Dead. This year's Comic-Con was brought to you by The Walking Dead in more ways than one.
So here's
Many times it is.
a random page of Friday programming, like a panel on Destiny, the video game, panel on Rick and Morty, a panel on Jack Kirby Friends and Family, which I super wish I had been to, which is awesome. Today, a group of his family members and closest friends talk about the man they knew. 55 years of theme park animatronics, the Game of Thrones panel and Q&A session. These are all basically happening at the same time. These
So
are
you,
your options.
you pick one or you shop.
DC's Dark Knights Metal and Dark Matter. Big stories going on at DC. Save the Bees with Art. Camilla Derrico apparently had a panel with whole bean artist materials offering a fun color-along discussion on eco-friendly ways to create art and protect the environment.
That's nice.
I freaking love Comic-Con. That was a random page.
there's gonna
that
be a
was
big
Random
half
page.
of a random page of Friday afternoon. of
Love it.
Comic-Con.
Love it.
I love. It was so
Comic-Con's
much.
the
It
best.
was so much fun, and it was so. We are exhausted and wonderful.
And but like the terrible irony of Comic-Con is that you have to choose what you do every
Yeah.
single hour.
Yeah.
Like, and like the even worse irony is that sometimes you have to choose to do something that you don't necessarily want to do. Because
yeah.
if you don't choose to do that one panel or two panels before the panel you want to go to, you won't get into the room. Or, you know, like if it's Hall H, you have to sit outside for 2 days and camp there and let people pass you by because they actually want to go to the Friday programming, but you want Saturday and you got to be first in line to make sure you get in. Yeah.
So I don't do that one.
No, I don't do. Yeah. I lucked out with press.
I'm too old for Hall H.
Yeah.
That's for
Yeah.
younger.
Do you want me to tell you my Hall H story super fast?
Sure.
Do the
So
Hall.
Hall H is the largest hall at Comic-Con. It seats about 6,000 people, and it's where the biggest like movie panels and other sorts of things will go on. Thank you. Good picture.
Yeah.
Is that you?
That's me. I took that from the press
Oh.
cage.
It doesn't look like you're in a cage. Did you put your thing through the bars?
Free range press.
No, it's not like a cage. I'm not like in a cage match.
They're organic.
Okay.
It's you are behind steel bars though, and the steel bars come up to my chest.
Okay, that is a little intimidating.
And there's only one opening in there.
Leads to the kill room.
And there's
fresh.
There was a
Nice to be 7 feet tall.
yeah. It was like, oh, being tall helps here. Okay, this is good. I'm sorry, everybody. This is great. Like, I have a friend who used to work at Comic-Con who has helped me get into Hall H every year without any trouble. But then this year there was a big problem with Hall H where someone counterfeited the wristbands. They counterfeited a lot of them. And so the way it works is if you're in the Hall H line, instead of making you wait in the Hall H line, they'll come through early in the morning and pass out wristbands, and that way you can go and enjoy the convention. They did that this year. Someone saw the wristbands, found a way to counterfeit them, and then pass them out, which means the people who waited in line now cannot get into the panel because there's not enough space for them. So my friend, who's never had a problem getting me in for like the last 3 years, was like, dude, I'm sorry, there's no room. So I was like, well, keep me informed. Like, this is like 3 hours before the panel, keep me informed. 3 hours goes by and he's like, man, I'm sorry, there's just no way. And I was like, this is like my job to, like, I have to know the Marvel stuff. Like, this is my thing. Like, this is what I do. I have to do it. I have to be able to talk about it on the internet and get paid to do it. So I'm a little frustrated. I'm walking towards the Hilton, which is one of the hotels immediately outside of it, to meet Brittany for an early dinner and a couple drinks, because I just need to calm down from like, oh, that guy was such a jerk, like counterfeiting all those wristbands. And as I'm walking by, I hear the lady outside of Hall H go, no, sir, this is the press line. There are no professionals allowed into this. It's a full house. And I was like, press line, I'm press, okay. And I stand in line, and she goes up to these two people, and she goes, you're both from the same outlet, who's going in? And they're both like, and she goes, you don't have time to decide who's going in. The panel starts in 5 minutes, and I need to let in 4 more people. And there's 7 people in front of me. I'm like, I'm still screwed. And they both just walk away. It's like, if both of us can't go in, then neither one of us do. So they both walked away, and I was like, oh my God, there's a chance. And she goes up to someone else, and she goes, all right,
5 people.
5, 6, you're both from the same outlet, who's going in? And she gets to the 2 people right in front of me. And they're like, and as the guy is about to say something, the girl goes, I'll go. And she just like walks in. So she goes, 7, and then she looks at me, looks at my badge, and goes, 8. Sorry, everybody, press line is closed.
Oh!
And I was like, and I like texted Brittany. I'm like, I got in. I'm the last one they let in. She goes, and then she says, don't look for us.
Adorable.
What's that?
Your tweets, by the way, from In Their Word.
Yeah. She goes, don't try to find a seat. Go immediately to the press cage. There's no seats left. And I was like, okay. And I went straight there. Matt Robb and Jovan Shire from Smosh Games were right in front of me, so I gave them both back rubs and kisses on the head. And then I watched from the side as
you are like you're sometimes like the Big Bird of nerd news. You're just like
I'll
sweet
take it.
and you're kind, but like you're about a foot taller than everybody.
I'll take it. And I have an imaginary elephant friend.
You kind of wow, that's actually true.
Yeah.
We'll do an episode on it.
We'll do an episode. That's good. But yeah, and then the panel was amazing. So.
Well, we'll get into the panel.
Yeah, we'll get into the panel later, but that's my story.
Let's start busting out the stuff.
Oh,
Let's talk about what we got.
First of all, if you don't mind, I bought those with my own money.
What are these?
These are original, and I think that these are Jack Kirby 7-Eleven special cups, and I bought them for us to have on our show. I soaked them and cleaned them, and then soaked them and cleaned them again, so that we can actually use them on our show every single week. So
they're beautiful.
I think you pull first. I think you pull first.
Yeah, I don't care. I like all 3 of them.
I'm kind of.
I showed them to John Schnepp, and he said he has a Doctor Strange one that he'll trade me for the Fantastic Four. But we have to get him in here first. So.
Okay.
I'm down then.
Yep.
They're all real good.
I don't care.
You pull first.
This is a gift to all of us.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
go.
it's amazing.
I'll go with
That has the most Kirby kind of machine work.
Also,
on
it's got like angsty vision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Angsty vision, and we can
you
keep
want the
trading.
trolls?
We can trading.
Well, because you're going to trade this one with Doctor Strange.
Possibly. But if you want the Fantastic Four one, then take it.
They're all good, Matt Key. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your generous present.
Oh, and I should mention, the lovely and wonderful and incredibly talented Eric Campbell bought me this as a gift.
Oh yes.
Amazing.
So
I've been very excited about that. I've been hearing about that today.
yeah, I'm very excited about it. So we
did. Yeah, there was some purchasing.
So yeah. Anyway, because I love you guys and I love our show.
Let's begin the showing off what we
did you
found.
get?
What we found. Oh, my
Do it. Yeah, start.
Okay, I'm going to start with something kind of simple. What am I going to start with? I like zines. Zines are silly and zines are fun.
What's a zine?
A zine is like this is a zine. It's half the word magazine because it's half a magazine. It's not really a magazine. It's slightly less. The This is something I picked up. It's called Akira Toriyama, What Hast Thou Done? And it's a zine. It's a teeny tiny little series of essays and pictures put out by a group called Little Fish Comic Book Studio, which is a group I found in San Diego. I found they gave me their whole pitch, and they teach kids how to make comic books. So this is just one of their projects that they put together, and they were really, really fun kids, and they were super, super, super nice. I talked to a couple of I want to say I think Alonzo is who I talked to. They do like comic camps for kids in San Diego, and and they do a San Diego Comic-Con art intensive. But this is just like weird little stories about concerning Akira Toriyama, who was the creator of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And,
oh my God, that's
and a
awesome.
really cool cartoon before that called Dr. Slump, a comic book called Dr. Slump.
I love it. That's amazing.
Which includes a character called Ariel, I can never pronounce it right, who's a little girl who has a piece of poop on a stick. And that's like her thing, is she has a poop on a stick. And there's the first essay in here is called From Poop Jokes to Hyper Fighting, a story of Akira Toriyama. So that's my first showing off is just this really like silly, fun little book that is just ridiculous and quite silly. So I'm starting out light. So that's one of mine.
I will start with also light. This is so I haven't had a chance to read a lot of my gets yet.
Yeah, I've read about half of mine.
But I got to Artist Alley.
Awesome.
Ooh.
And this is technically considers itself a zine.
It's a big zine.
This is artist Sean Galloway, who's done a ton of animation work, and I have occasionally run into, but I didn't know was doing this. So.
Oh, that's so cute! Oh my God!
Oh, I know you showed Brittany that earlier. Love that.
So these are two
That's
of
one
his
of-
little prints.
That's one of Brittany's favorite Squirrel Girl illustrations.
spectacular.
Yeah, he's real good.
What's his name?
Sean Galloway.
Sean Galloway.
But he's got this, which is this amazing,
Oh
like,
my God, that's beautiful.
short stories and like tons of different styles. I'm just gonna start so here's the comic zine. It's from Table Taffy Studios, Sean Galloway production. All kinds of beautiful
Oh, the colors. So
short
The
stories.
colors are great, and
look at that.
I think this is a how to draw. Yeah.
the
on the
characters
drawing
are so
board.
good.
So this just looked really, really fun and random. And this was the first thing I think that I went in and got with my little $2 bill. So it should be, the file should be labeled
you have
Amy
pictures.
by Galloway, because you instructed us that we had to take pictures or
Take
film.
some pictures or film or
So
something.
I made everybody take selfies with me while I bought stuff from him. So hopefully there's a file in there called Amy by Galloway, which is the
Man, I
beginning
totally
of my
forgot to
Odyssey.
do that. I only did that a couple of times.
I
there
have
we
one
are.
video
Nice.
file. Which
He took it because he was taller than me. And that's Artist Alley. You can see over our heads. Some of my photos aren't even going to be in focus. I'm not great at taking pictures. That's not
That's
what I'm here for.
no.
But so that was my beginning, and I'm very, very excited for my
That
Shadow
is a
Pirates.
solid pull. Oh, look at
you.
that. I love this.
Sean Galloway,
fun.
Doug Wagner, and Lionel Castellani.
Great
I,
color, very cartoony. I love it.
I went to Alternative Press. I spent a lot of money in the Alternative
small press?
Press. They have the big red carpet there and everything. Like, it's one of my
Super
favorite things
comfy.
to do. It's so. And here's the kind of the sad irony of the Alternative Press area. There's not a lot of people there, so you feel like you can kind of get away from the convention a bit.
It's a bit of a breathing. It's sad but true, and especially with that red carpet has a layer of foam underneath it, so
and
you
it's
suddenly-
super comfy. Like, you
Very-
can
it's
kind of
inviting.
relax. It's strange because, like, Comic-Con, as fun as it is also very stressful.
Very
and, like,
stressful.
Yeah.
I get hyper claustrophobic in crowds. Just like my height works against me, and I feel like I'm not allowed to move all of a sudden. So
we did dub it Nerding Man this year. So that was our.
so I spent a lot of. So I'll have a lot of stuff from Alternative Press, but one of my favorites that I found. And I didn't want to get the hardcover. It was a little more money than I thought I should spend with the $2 bills.
No, yeah, you want to dabble. You want to dabble.
This let's see where's the writer's name? Story and art by Paul Roman Martinez. He was out to lunch, but his wife and daughter pitched me on this. I think his daughter must have been 10.
Aww.
And I stepped out and was like, you know what? Give me the pitch. What is this? And as the mother started to say it, she goes, "No, Mom, I've got this." And she like leaned in, and I was like, well, whatever they say, I've got to buy from a little girl. Like, this is adorable.
The kids
like,
of Comic-Con are really precocious as
Yeah.
well. Like there are some
Yeah.
scary, precocious kids working booths at Comic-Con.
So this is a book called the 19XX or 19XX, and it's perfectly in my wheelhouse of
Tesla fights.
like sort of like turn of the century, like early 1900s, 1920s, like still like kind of Zeppelins and that kind of stuff. A bit steampunk, but like post-steampunk kind of gas lamp London kind of thing. So, it's
Diesel punk is one
Diesel
description
punk.
they're putting on here.
and
I like
it's sort of like secret society kinds of stuff, which is also just like, give me more, give me more. Like I've got a comic book opus I am working on, guys. It will, oof. But
For real though?
what's that? No, for real, I am. Yeah. I've got like a giant, like it's massive. So someday,
Have a reading.
But he had normal comic books, but then with the comic books he had this compendium.
It's
to
character
go with it.
This is really cool, guys. It's character by character where you get like the art
Yeah.
and like a write up, but like
Neat.
It was really
Official
super
handbook
cool.
of the
And they had
1900s.
so he had like 3 or 4 big hardcover books that were like $25 a piece, but then he had these soft cover compendiums.
Ooh, Zeppelin.
Here's the characters, here's the world. He did a lot of research in the 20s and the 30s and the 1890s, that whole like 30 or 40 year period of time. That's all kind of thrown in throughout the course of the entire book. And like, as I was reading through that this afternoon, this is the first time today to look through it, I was like kicking myself that I didn't buy the bigger book. I was like, this sounds amazing.
The main Zeppelin is called the Carpathian.
I know, isn't that cool?
It's got twin hidden machine guns. I was going to stop. That's way too much.
So here, let me give you. So the bad guys are called the Black Fawn Society, and then the good guys are the 19XX. There's the Baron. One of my favorites is the Shining Skull. He was the mentor of St. Thomas Aquinas.
Wow.
And he found a way to put his spirit into metal, and then he had someone create an automaton in the 1500s that his spirit is now in. Like, it's just like, I read that and I was like, I should have bought the book.
This is like Venture Brothers level of.
No, I know. And then there's a guy
great.
named Sterling Riskin who lost his arm when he was young, and he made a deal with a demon. And the demon said, I will
that's
give
a
you
demon
my arm. So there's that character. See if I can flatten it a little bit for you. With the demon arm. Oh, so cool. And the demon wanted to be able to see the world, so he has eyes all over the arm. So like if you can, like all these creepy eyes. But then, some of the good guys are the captain and Marge, let's see. There's a kid named The Kid. His real name is not revealed just yet because his father fought on the Carpathian and lost his life. And the kid has the same name as the father. And they've all said, as soon as you've earned the right to that name, we'll stop calling you the Kid. So he's like fighting for his father's on. Like there's some really great character work in this on top of fleshing out the world.
Man.
And then if you go the other way, he's got a whole other, on the backs of the pages, he's got like world building and script pages and stuff like that.
Very nice.
So that's my first one.
All right, I'm gonna show off a print I picked up. So one of the Dan, I can never pronounce right. Parent.
Oh, I've just been
Parent?
assuming it was Parent. That's
Dan
probably wrong.
Parent, who's one of the fabulous Archie artists, and he had a big, wonderful booth full of fabulous prints and comics. And I found this amazing Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yay!
That I'm going to be putting up in my room, and it's a fabulous kind of tattoo style Sabrina.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. There were a couple. I was torn between 2 or 3 different prints, and this was the one I had to get, and the other 3 were like he had the Archie meets the Ramones print, and
Nice.
there was like
awesome.
the Vampirella. It wasn't even Vampirella. It was Veronarella. I can't quite remember. It was so it was great, but. That was this was just like finding an artist who had great art. And I picked up some more art, but we'll get into. That's my run. I got a simple, quick one.
All right. Let's see. What's next? I made a couple of stops by friends' places.
As did we all. I have a funny feeling that we didn't double up at all. Like, it's entirely possible that we may not have doubled up at all. I thought we might.
Because I was in Artist Alley and ran into the Womanthology table, I, of course, had to go ahead and get my very own signed one of these.
Is that a Batman book? What is that?
To internet sensation Amy Dallen.
Jody insisted.
Brittany and I stopped by her booth on Sunday to say hi, and she's like, "Oh, guess what I did? I signed her book, Internet Sensation." Lovely.
I will nevertheless treasure it.
Arch nemesis of the show.
Yep. And then my buddies Jack and Colin have a brand new book, which didn't come out in stores until today, but they had preview copies at the convention. It's a brand new publisher that everyone should be tuned into because I'm really excited about their stuff. It's called Vault.
Yeah?
And the book is called Zojacon.
Ooh,
That's pretty
cool.
It's just like unreasonably beautiful.
It's got a saga vibe.
So let's see. Their artist Nathan Gooden is
Oh my God, that's
just
gorgeous.
like destined immediately for stardom. This is, I mean, it's absurd.
Oh my God.
It is.
Thank you for buying this book for me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate
Oh,
that gift.
yeah,
That's
that
so
was very
sweet
nice
of
of
you.
me.
That was very nice of you.
And they were also had at the convention.
Oh, that's amazing.
This friggin' amazing newsprint, EC style pulp version of Zojacon.
Again,
Or
Amy.
like not the same material, and an original like
Look at the design of that.
newsprint.
Look at that monster
pulp.
design. That's gorgeous.
Amy, I
It's
have to thank you.
unbelievable.
Thank you so much for buying these
That
things
is so
for me.
nice
That
of
is
me.
so nice of you.
Not for you. Says Amy.
I love you.
I know you got us wonderful presents, but
No, I'm just like,
some kind of excuse is what I'm saying.
well, I also have my Jody Hauser signed
Yes.
that she gave me.
Very nice.
I didn't even have to buy that. She just gave it to me. She was so friendly to
I
give that
paid
to
for
me.
mine.
Well, Jody loves me more, I guess.
I was having a breakfast when I sadly.
I will show off the one thing that I really did truly incredibly buy for myself. I love first appearances and first stuff, and this is the Guardians of the Galaxy first appearance. The actual Guardians, that's
the old school Guardians.
yeah, it's the old school Guardians, which I'm a giant fan of. Like when they showed up in the movie, I was beside myself.
Yeah.
Like, but we've got Yondu.
This is Astonishing Tales featuring the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And it's we've got Yondu Udanta, Martinex, Charlie 27, and Vance Astro, whose story I believe is even more tragic than Captain America's.
Vance Astrovic. He actually ended up with Captain America's shield for a while, didn't he?
He did, as Major Victory in the
Major
1990s version. But
the
real
glorious
quick,
90s.
For those of you who don't know, Vance Astro is an amazing character. I believe it's in the 80s or the 90s. He's put on a rocket ship and
90s.
sent on a 1,000-year journey to Alpha Centauri. He's put in a cryogenic deep freeze and he's put into a suit to keep him safe, so sort of like vacuum sealed to him. And he arrives to Alpha Centauri 600 years after humanity has discovered light speed travel, and they've all been on Alpha Centauri waiting for him. Everyone he knows is dead, and his journey was for no reason. And he's like, you could have got me 600 years ago. They're like, yeah, but your mission was for 1,000 years. We were afraid if we messed with it, we might hurt you. He's like, but you've advanced to light speed travel. You couldn't figure that out? So he ends up, he comes back to our solar system and discovers that the Earth and the entire solar system has been defeated by the Badoon, hence the Guardians of the Galaxy form in the 31st century in Earth 691, because it's an alternate universe as well. A future alternate universe.
Marvel. Well, comics.
Well,
Marvel
comics.
finding interesting reasons for random numbers for universes.
But I love it so much.
So great.
It's so pretty.
Where did you find that?
I can't remember the name of the guy, but it was just one little table. That's one I prefer. Like Torpedo Comics was great.
I
love that dude.
I got my people.
made a
I love that
torpedo
dude.
shop, yeah.
But I love the tiny tables, like the like those scrappers who are just like they're doing it because they love it and they're hoping to make ends meet. I'm like, here's my money.
Oh no, I feel it.
Make your ends meet, man. So yeah, and that's where I bought both of your gifts.
I found
it was from this guy.
That's right. Oh, I met that guy very briefly
Yeah.
because I remember those cups, like glancing at them as we were looking at odds and ends.
Which guy?
I found a guy who was selling one of the old batarangs when I worked at Icon's Authentic Replicas. It was like, I probably glued that batarang together. I was like probably like 18 years old gluing batarangs, and that looks like one of mine. How much? Oh, that's $2,300. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna walk away.
Wow.
But, yeah, that's.
You don't
like
have that many
ephemera.
$2 bills, right?
I did not have that many $2 bills. I'm going to show off a little more art.
Before you do, I want to say
Oh, yeah.
a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
people are saying that they're going to Vault Comics and that they all look amazing.
Yes.
Fatty Melt especially is saying, "Oh my God, like
So,
these are all really
brand
good."
new publishers,
So, yeah.
like, they're suspiciously good at this. Because I love supporting, like, brand new publishers. But, like, new publishers don't have game like this.
No, this
Like,
is.
they don't
Yeah.
have design like this. They don't have paper quality like this.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't-
amazing.
It's
what
got
they're
a
doing over
Music
there.
Man vibe. I'm a little suspicious of there's a guy in a straw hat with a nice suit. It's
And
got
I want
trouble.
whatever he's selling is the thing.
Right here in San Diego.
These guys also do a book called Heathen, which is like a lesbian Viking story, which is amazing. I've only read like random.
This
issues
is
of it so
brand
far,
new.
but-
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
we have a whole
Excited.
new.
Good find.
I'm
Very
so
good
excited.
find.
So I stopped by another artist that I'm a fan of, Peter Gwen. It's always one of those tricky last names to pronounce. I think I'm doing it right. He's an amazing artist, and he does a whole bunch of X-Men art. And I was really in the mood for an X-Men art, and I got a couple pieces. I may end up figuring out how to display it here, but I thought there was something very Wednesday Club about this piece.
That is cool.
And I'm going to show it to everyone here now. And it's just like a little bit of like the
so-
classic 80s comic branding but like a version of the X-Men, like the girls of the X-Men of that time that you just.
Oh, that's so cool.
he's got
That's
such a
really wonderful.
And I bought a poster from me too. And the other thing I got from him, which I'm really, really happy, he was so sweet and so nice. So he did a series of the International Women of the X-Men, but with a rainbow, but it all in like a sort of a rainbow color movement. So like when I frame them, I'm going to frame them. The whole thing will make a rainbow, and so you'll see the colors shift.
Gosh.
Oh my God, that's
gosh.
awesome.
There's Psylocke.
Wow.
And there's Storm with the blue.
Oh, so pretty.
Polaris with the
my-
green.
What is his name?
Peter Gwen. Peter V. Gwen.
This is so
Marvel Girl. There's Sunspot.
Sunfire?
Sunfire. Oh, that's right. Scarlet Witch. And like I believe each of these mutants is from another country. That's Snowbird, if I want to recall, from the Canadians. And so like it's like the entire rainbow through, and I was like, that's like
That is so
that's
pretty.
fun. And he had a
Unbelievably pretty.
huge
That's amazing
pile of
art.
amazing art. I actually bought a flash poster from him too. That was from me. Yes.
Well, you are the Flash.
I am the Flash.
Yeah, you are the Flash.
I may have gotten an Injustice poster too. It was like, I worked on that game. Can you give me a poster? So.
They were like, "No, buy it," and you were like, "Okay."
No, this is for fans who win a contest. Yeah, no,
That's
they
fair.
were. I could, yeah.
Cat cosplay, you're absolutely correct. The biggest problem with cons and artists, Sally, is that there are not enough walls.
So I am actually on a like not allowed to buy new art, and it has made cons so difficult because I have so much more art than can go on walls right now.
We're the same.
We
It's
cycle.
such a problem because there's too much beautiful stuff in the world.
Yeah,
but
we're on a
Way too much.
we're on a 6-month cycle. We like have things in storage and then pull them out and like rearrange everything.
Yeah,
every 6
Nice.
we actually need a rotator.
You guys have a
stuff.
lot of.
We have a lot.
I felt a little like I even once got you art and I felt really guilty about it.
No,
that was a
we
big
have-
piece.
We still have your girlfriend's Gallifrey.
The Gallifrey piece.
up.
I
yeah.
love that piece.
Love that piece. That was for
remembered.
that was our a proposal gift.
Yeah.
So of
I'm
course
gonna
we
go
still
with
have that.
another. This was a random, like a blind purchase, which I'm really excited about. Just wandering through Artist Alley,
Blind purchase?
I saw a banner and went like that. Whatever that is, I want it.
That's
And it
pretty.
is the book Above the Clouds. It was Sunday, and she'd already sold out of everything except chapters 5 and 6. But they're so pretty, I just bought them anyway, even though you can read this online, as it turns
Oh.
out. But
Oh,
come
wow.
on.
That is pretty.
It is a mix of silent, of wordless and non-wordless storytelling. It's about a little girl who finds a book, which is, I'm in like 7 times already.
That's
And
like it's got a very Miyazaki like stained glass
it's
vibe.
got a really wonderful like muted color palette that she's working with here.
Oh wow! Look at
And
the
then
watercolor.
You get like there's a mix of sort of wordless and narrated things as she's sort of slowly discovering the story of this world. And there's this, and the story of what happened to this figure, who kind of looks like the guy from Journey. But in a good way. No, not
no, there's
the
nothing-
game, not the band.
Oh no, I was with you. I was with
Not
you.
the band. I didn't even think about
I didn't even
the
go
band.
there until you dragged me
I was like,
there.
yeah,
Now I can't not
that
go
game is
there.
beautiful. I can't wait to see what she's showing.
And I love things
So
like this
pretty.
because in the back of this, she is thanking her Patreon supporters who have made this possible.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And made it possible, presumably, for her to come to Comic-Con so that I could wander, like I assume her whole life is about me finding her comic, right?
I caught it.
Well done.
That was actually surprisingly together. Yeah, here I'll just.
So yeah, really excited for this new find, Above the Clouds by Melissa Paluica?
We do this poorly. We're going to type it correctly when we do the show notes. So
Yeah.
that'll be our.
Yeah.
Or when Kelly Knox does the show notes. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Kelly,
yeah.
who's been writing an article for us every week, by the way.
Yes. Thank you for doing that because it's madness.
So I'm gonna give out the first of my 2 gifts,
Oh no.
and it is a Dazzler #1 for Taliesin. I hope that you don't already have it.
I
assume
really
that you
don't.
do, but I thought it would be the
Only
thought that
only the
counts.
one under my pillow, and that one's gotten a little weird. This is good. Wow, that came out way weirder than I meant
Nope.
it to.
Nope, it
All
came out as weird as you needed
I'm
it to
leaning
be.
into it.
It's
I'm leaning into it.
perfect.
So yeah, I have
Wow.
actually never read that, so I don't know anything about it except that it is
Oh
a
my
Dazzler. And
God, look at that.
cover
Got
is
our
amazing.
own comic. Beautiful
32
painted covers.
132 Roman soldiers for $2.98.
Oh, that's a scam,
I
by the
know,
way.
yeah.
It's the heartbreak of my coworker's life, is that he sent away for one of those little, like,
What?
you can get a whole army, and the picture looked like, he knew they'd be small, but they looked like cool little toys, and they came and they were like flat pieces of cardboard.
Yeah.
And he was so mad.
Oh
He's
my
still
God,
mad,
that's the
like 30
greatest.
years later, about the lies. Oh
So
my
bright,
God.
so bright this star. So bright this star. Oh, Dazzler.
I love you, Taliesin.
That's so sweet.
This
and the
thank
last thing
you,
I
and
said
like
was,
this
I won't
is.
give you this nice thing I have.
I don't want you to. You bought that for you.
Oh my God. Oh my. Okay, I'm not reading this right now because now I'm going to feel like a bad person. I'll
Yeah.
read it later. And what? And I'm like, oh, is that Enchantress? He's just showing. One of my favorite
why
things,
not?
by the way, this year.
Or maybe
was-
it's Polaris.
Was
No, Polaris wasn't around and she has green hair.
kid cosplay. There was
Oh,
so
like
much,
little kids in
There was so
cosplay?
much
Yeah.
kid cosplay, and one of my favorites day when I got there was a woman in like really intense Enchantress cosplay, like really uncomfortable looking heels and bustier, just like blonde hair, like just having a difficult time with how much cosplay she was doing.
Yeah.
And she had a teeny tiny little blonde baby Thor that she was trying to wrangle.
Oh my God, that is so cute.
For those of you who don't know, the Enchantress is always sort of trying to like captivate Thor and make him love her, and this is extra funny.
This was just so. It was just. I was just kept looking at, just going, oh my God.
Speaking of, I took a few pictures of cosplayers that I thought were really cool. Do we want to go through those
Yeah.
super fast?
Let's do that really
Throw
quick.
in,
If you've got
I
something.
like 2 or 3 in there. If you,
Yeah, like Chief, if you just want to like find a couple, and I think I labeled them cosplay. I don't know. I hate to put you on the spot like that, but
He's
but-
staring so intently at the machine.
is he? Yeah, I probably mislabeled everything. I'm really bad at
full
this.
on. He looks
job.
like the Cylons are attacking right now.
are the Cylons attacking right now?
Do we have to go analog? There
Oh,
we go.
look at that! That's one of my favorites. That was at the Marvel booth.
Oh my God! Look at that guy.
I don't know the guy's name, and every single cosplayer I took a picture of, I gave them a Wednesday Club and asked them, hey, I do a show. Is it okay if I show your picture? So every single picture I'm showing, I've gotten approval from.
All of
But-
Matt's pictures have gotten approval.
Oh, nice.
Look at it! Isn't that awesome? Look at that guy. He's Captain Marvel. I love it. It's the best. It's the best. I love seeing crossplay like that. Like it's.
I also gotta say, like the movie suit designs have got me really excited.
I can.
Yes.
I can.
Looks like they're using the Jamie McKelvey design.
There's so many theories that I can go on about with all that stuff. Anyway, yeah, that was some great. Oh, this dude was Wonder Woman every day.
I saw this
Yeah.
dude.
He was Wonder Woman every day. And I saw him. I think I saw him at the Geek and Sundry
He may
panel.
have been.
I
He
think
may
he
have
was
been
there.
at the Geek and Sundry panel.
I think he was there.
They shuffled me to the back of the room, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
Well, I was happy to get in, but like, Sasha, our friend Sasha, has been threatening to do Namor for years,
Yeah.
which is nothing but a green speedo and just oh god.
Also, like winged feet, right?
Little wing feet. Yeah,
Little
glue
winged
wings
feet.
on his feet and wear a green Speedo and nothing else and go to Comic-Con.
Yeah, you should do that. All right, sorry, I cut you off. It's your turn.
no.
It's your turn to show off. But you said cosplay.
I threw a couple of cosplay ones in there. I'm not sure. Now I suddenly feel bad
where
about
they
sharing
be?
them because I checked with everybody that I was taking selfies with, but I asked permission to take photos, but probably not to share them so ignore mine.
No,
Oh, well, all right.
I'll think things through. But did y'all see the entire family of Incredibles with the tiny Edna mode? I saw them 2 or 3 times. It was great. Whole family of Incredibles, and like one of the kids was Edna mode. It was.
We saw a
that's
giant
awesome.
full-size beetle from Kubo, which was pretty intense. Like full, like maybe 8 feet tall. Like would have dwarfed you, like face and oh my god, like hard shell. It was amazing.
Oh, I saw Hulkbuster.
Nice.
I think there might be a picture.
Oh, there's
there.
a picture of the Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So this dude's up on stilts. The kid behind him, this was really funny. The guy got tired of wearing the Hulkbuster suit. The kid behind him is his son. So he had the upper part later on in the day. So you had like 2 pieces walking. You had the guy with the legs, and then the kid is hidden in the Hulkbuster. But yeah, that was over by Hall H when I was
brave.
trying to get in.
That's brave.
Yeah, it was great.
All right,
Super fun.
I got a
go.
quick one. So this was an interesting pitch, and I actually like the pitch was so good that I bought the whole series, and I'm only like 1 into it.
Whoa.
And I had never heard of this, but apparently he was like, oh no, people have heard of my book. So I was like, and it's called The Society of Unordinary Young Ladies. This is not my favorite. I'm going to pull my
I've
favorite cover.
never heard of it either.
So
But
the
the artwork
society,
looks really
the
pretty.
art is really fun, and like the interior art. Oh, here's the gothiest of them. I'll pull the gothiest of them.
Of course you do.
Because that's me. There we go.
Oh.
Society for Unordinary
Nice.
Young Ladies, and it's basically kind of a take. The pitch he gave was it's the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Which, if you don't know the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, it's basically taking classic public domain characters of the 19th century of European novels of the 19th century, Captain Nemo, Alan Quatermain, Dracula, and like making a super team out of them, and then putting them on a team against classic villains, and like sort of making a mashup universe of 19th century European fiction. So this is a mashup sci-fi fiction of 80s television teen girls. So the robot from Small Wonder and
No
Punky Brewster
way.
and Wednesday Addams team up to save the oh
see.
my god.
This is Punky Brewster,
That's
right?
some punky power. It is amazing. Like
That's
Oh
amazing.
my God.
and
This
like
is
the
the
first
best.
just like the first panel is like opens on Cheers, like on the Cheers bar. Like it's layers of cool, and and the art style is really fun. It's got like a dark. I love like a good black and white sketchy design, and there's just so much movement and so much action in this, and it's
That
just
is great.
I'm so like this was so my jam, and I may have bought the entire run.
Oh my God.
Punky, you need to get us out of this now. I mean, like this is so great, jumping out of an airplane. And like Wednesday with her superpowers. I know, I just love this shit. It's
What's her actual superpower? Do you know?
she's.
mean,
I don't want to
she's a
spoil.
magic?
Like there's like
a
weird,
warlock
creepy,
kinda
and
witch?
like I don't want to get into too much of it
Oh
because
my God.
it's
I
worth
love
your
it.
time and it's so much fun.
Oh my God, I want.
And
all
I
of
bought
the-
every issue.
Who writes it? Can we get it online? Do you know?
I believe you can find them online. I'm terrible at names, but Algarmi and art by Jace Wah.
Wow.
And it's just
Perfect.
it's weird, dark fun, and it's just so much fun. So
Perfect.
Awesome.
I've been enjoying that. I should also mention that we are going to try and do our question for our 5-minute question.
Oh yeah,
minute timer.
5-minute topic.
So if you guys start submitting stuff in the chat room, we will select something that sounds like fun for the end of the show, and just throw something out there if you want to see us ramble about something.
Fatty Melt says you had me at Wednesday Addams.
I know that was really,
Also, Fatty Melt, you had me at Wednesday. Addams.
I was really hoping that Ashley Johnson's character from was going to show up, but sadly no. So that was
Sadly, yeah. Well,
that was my one sadness. Is no Ashley Johnson.
so the 5-minute topics can be
anything.
anything. Yeah, as long as it's comic book related or not even.
You know, keep it to comic book related, but you know.
Preferably.
If you can make a strong argument for how your question is comic book related, why not?
Yeah, but ask your questions, and we're going to spend 5 minutes talking about that one thing.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about like the how to deal with like laundry.
What's a laser?
Light amplified. Okay, no. Sorry.
Light amplification by the stimulated emission of radiation. Kaboom!
So yeah, let's keep going down the line.
So this was another Artist Alley pick. This was one of my favorite books of last year. Was randomly reading The History of Tetris by Box Brown, and it's separate from this. It's called, I think it's called Tetris. Games people play, something like that. It is both about like the socio-political issues of Russia and America in the 80s, and about the history of video gaming, with like quick versions of some of the major Japanese companies, and like a meditation on play and human brains and all this stuff, all in one amazing graphic novel about the guy who invented Tetris. Which it just turns out is a fantastic story. And it was written and drawn by Box Brown, who I hadn't previously been familiar with. But so that's one of the great things about being a con, is that you can wander around Artist Alley, and I went, oh, wait a minute, Box Brown, the last thing that you wrote, like that I read of yours, was friggin' awesome. And I saw a few different books by the same publisher, so I went, oh, are you the publisher? And he went, oh yes, this is me, Box Brown.
Oh my God.
Well, okay.
That's
I bought this
awesome.
directly from the rad writer and artist of. You can see some variety in his style here, and in this nice sort of Kirby opening here.
Oh, so pretty.
And I haven't pre-checked this for content, but
Yeah,
I'm super
on the
excited.
internet.
An entity observes all things is this book, because he did such incredible storytelling in that book. And I wanted to buy everything at this table, but I contented myself with trading my $2 bills. There should be a picture that's Amy Box Brown or something like that in there.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, this is his author portrait.
It's an incredible Oh, yeah, no,
Oh
it's an
my
incredible
God.
likeness.
Yeah.
Oh
Right
my
there.
God, this guy's amazing.
Oh,
So that was
good
super delightful.
find.
Being awesomely photographed.
Oh, and the person behind him is awesome.
Yep,
Oh, what an awesome
yep,
picture.
Yep. So this was
cool
tons
glasses.
of fun.
Cool glasses.
And I
Lots of
think
cool glasses.
He was definitely among the laughing out loud when he saw the $2 bills crowd.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that.
All right, so 2 people have asked what SCUBA stands for. Self-contained
Self-contained
underwater breathing apparatus. Yep. All right, cool. That was
5-minute
Arcan,
question.
Astron, and Jacob Man 76. So ironically, I typically don't go for humor comics.
Sure.
Like I do like them, but I have because I've done comedy so much, I feel like I have very specific tastes.
Sure.
But Arsenic Lullaby made me laugh, so I picked it up. It's a
Nice.
bit on the darker side. Some of the stuff maybe I'm like, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't go that far with it. But there was a really funny, there were a couple really
webcomic,
funny
right?
ones in here. I think it might be.
Nice.
But this is by, it's a Comic-Con International limited edition. I'm trying to find, it's Douglas Paskowitz, I believe is how you pronounce it. But one of my favorite bits in here was this. It's a demon who comes out of the Ouija board. So here's the thing to know about this book is that like a lot of these are just like one-page jokes. And then you get to this and you're like, this is kind of fun. Ouija, hours of fun. It's just a fun little print. No, the next 7 to 8 pages are this demon who's been fighting to get out of hell because he's been whipping this guy, pushing a boulder for millennia. And the guy's like, man, you're not giving it your all like you used to. Like, I really feel like you're not enjoying your job anymore. And he's like, I'm not. It's lost its appeal after a millennia. I've put in to be traded up to Ouija boards. So he starts appearing out of Ouija boards and discovering that humans are the worst. So he pops out, and one lady's like, oh, I recognize your voice. You're my sweetheart. And she goes to give him a hug, and he's like, no, stop. And she's like, give me kid. No. Then he appears to some other kids, and they're like, you misspelled there on the Ouija board. I know you meant THERE, but you spelled spelled it T-H-E-I-R. That's not the proper usage. And the kids are just the worst, and he finally just can't take it anymore and goes back to hell.
That's a little like Evan Dorkin kind of vibe. I'm
Yeah,
like a little
yeah.
bit
Now,
of a
I will
Dorkin
say the
kind
one
of
that sold me is this one on this page right here. Three officers in the German army, the Nazi army, show up to Hitler, and they're like, "Hey, we've got this amazing occult book. It's got everything you've been asking for. It is incredible." They're like, rumors of fire from the sky and being able to wipe out enemies by carrying certain artifacts, controlling water and the weather itself. And he's like, ha ha ha, yes, this is everything I've wanted. I must learn all of it. Wait, this is Judaism. And all of the officers are in the back just laughing.
That is the most Evan Dorkin joke.
Yep.
Without Evan Dorkin
And I was like,
involved.
well, I'll give you my $5 for this.
For those of you who don't know, Evan Dorkin. Evan Dorkin was a comic book writer who wrote Milk and Cheese and a book called Dork that came out once every couple years.
Is a comic book writer?
Still is a comic book writer. Still, he not was. He is. He still writes comics when he's in the mood, and they're just the worst jokes. They're the worst jokes. Just.
There's some very funny stuff.
There's some very funny. There's just the word. There was like he had post-nuclear apocalypse theater, which was just little black boxes. It was the. Hey, why do you have a banana in your ear? It's like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I have this banana-shaped tumor in my ear. And like,
Oh, shit.
like that. Oh, it's just
Wow.
thank you for
Yeah.
like really adding to that pantheon with the
Arsenic Lullaby.
Arsenic Lullaby.
It's a lot of fun. Like I said, there's a couple things in there. I'm like, I think that might be too far. I don't know if I'm. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not going to talk about that one. But
No, but you went there.
the ones
It's
that I
okay.
mentioned, I did enjoy.
Yeah, no, I love a little bit of the worst humor. Always makes me happy. I have a few things I haven't read yet, which is also kind of like interesting. Like I'm trying to avoid the things I haven't read.
Okay.
Yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I just brought all my stuff.
I brought everything.
I brought
yeah.
everything, but like I'm trying to think of. I kind of want to show what our producer Liz got, which is kind of exciting.
Oh.
So this is not something. This is something that our producer got, which was the hardcover collection of the first 10 issues of the Rick and Morty comic book.
Amazing.
It's even better than you know, which is that when you open the book,
It's not actual comics.
it's better than that. Oh, it's comics.
All right, it's a sound chip, baby, on a comic book. This is futuristic stuff. We got a sound chip up in this. Oh man, I can't believe this sound chip. I can't believe this sound chip.
It just talks about the sound chip. There's a sound chip. Every time you open the book, it just tells you that there's a sound chip.
It's a book that is impossible to read in a library.
Oh my God, I love it so much. That is.
Do you want to show this? I was like, yeah, I really do.
Oh.
I really do. Oh my God. And on top of that, like it is like a really cool looking like Rick and Morty comic with all of the fun and love of a Rick
Oh
and
my
Morty comic.
God. Oh, that is so funny. Comes out on Sunday. I can't wait.
I know, and like
That's
yeah, it's just like
delightful.
yeah, there's just a sound chip right there in the
Futuristic stuff.
it's a sound
Futuristic
chip.
stuff.
I can't believe this sound chip.
Oh my
That's awesome.
God.
Thank you for
Man, nothing I got talks.
Oh my God.
I love a cheap gag. I will admit you put foil on a cover, I'm a little intrigued.
Yeah.
Like
No.
I'm that guy.
When DC did the lenticular covers, I was like, I don't want to
no.
want all of those, but I do.
But you've got a spot gloss hardcover with a sound chip. I'm kind of there.
Kind of on top. I'm kind of in.
All right.
Oh my God, that's
I've been
amazing.
doing books, I guess, so I'll keep going through books.
You can
Do it.
do whatever,
Do whatever you want.
go wherever you
I've
want
got
to
a lot
go.
of stuff.
You do you.
You did really well. Like this
Yeah,
is
you-
exactly the sort
yeah.
of pile that a human being is supposed to show up with.
I'm
Like,
excited.
Very solid.
Okay, so this is it's a webcomic I've loved for a long time, but I had never seen the print editions. So I don't believe Ursula Vernon, author of Digger, was actually there. I did, the lovely woman working the booth went ahead and posed with me for the selfie I demanded upon buying this book.
Hi.
Rules are rules. But this is a wonderful, like very atmospheric and beautiful comic called Digger about,
Pretty.
like, okay, I like this. Digger is sort of what you'd get if you forced a mating between Bone and Cerebus and then had the offspring's godfather be Terry Pratchett.
Wow.
Good selling pitch.
Or
That's really good.
the blog Sequential Tart made up an award for it. Winner, best webcomic about a pragmatic but tough-talking wombat. The semi-ectoplasmic shadowling who keeps following her around, and the various warrior clerics, rat-keeping librarians, and sentient statues of elephant-headed deities she encounters when the latest tunnel she's digging accidentally takes her to a very foreign
Oh my God,
country.
that's a sequential tart quote. I haven't heard that
Wow.
website get named in a long time.
Yeah,
they were always very kind to me in reviews. Bless them.
So it's just wonderful work, and I did not own it in print.
Oh,
and
that's
I'm
beautiful.
awesome.
very excited
Did you
about
get that
it.
Artist Alley?
It was probably a small press.
Small press, yeah.
Small press, yeah. And then not far
my-
away from that was Torpedo Comics, I believe, the 50%
Torpedo,
off booth, where you can find all kinds of like cool out-of-print stuff. It's really great if you need volume 3 of something.
Yep.
Wait, was Torpedo the 50%? Or the 50% was next to Torpedo? Or
Oh,
was it-
I think
yeah.
you could see it from the 50% off.
Yeah.
booth
There was
is
the-
reason
I
I'm confused.
actually, I was like, oh, I didn't know Torpedo was doing
I think they have like some sort of like thingy. Yeah.
I'm remembering it wrong. Next door
Double checking. Next door.
was the 50% off graphic novels booth, where I picked up this awesome
Maybe they're doing it, I don't know.
cheap collection, Vertigo First Defenses. It's the first issues. Most of these I've already read, but this was too cool. The first issue of Fables, the first issue of The Invisibles, the first issue of Preacher, the first issue of Sound and Mystery Theater, and the first issue of Lucifer. So this is basically an older, like bargain-priced Vertigo trade to give people a starting point for a bunch of stuff.
What a
but
good
it's
lender.
not the kind of thing you like run into every day.
No.
And now I own an easily lendable copy of the first issues
Like
of
what
all
a
these
good
books.
sampling platter that is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit of everything.
That's really cool.
I love all those books. All those books are great.
So, again, with the alternative press, I found this writing team. Well, first of all, I won't get that. I found this writing team. I am a sucker for time travel.
Okay.
I
Were
love
you?
Oh,
I
what's
can
that?
change that. Sorry.
I love time travel stories. I've got like 7 ideas for time travel stories, all in my head, crammed together in some capacity. But I ran into these guys and immediately had to buy 3 of their books. They have 10 of them out. It's a book called Future Proof. The premise behind the book is that time travel is discovered in the future. It's absolutely possible, but it only goes in one direction. Only can go to the past. So people in the future decide, hey, you know what? Let's go to the past and fix all the problems. So they go to the past and fix the problems, and they discover that that actually affects the future in a really negative way. So then they send another team to fix the mistakes of the team from the future. So there's 2 teams.
But you
going
can't go
through-
back and check on the effects of your action. People literally have to wait, and then different people have to come after you.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah, so it's just like this compounding it. Like they were describing it to me. I was like, so wait, is that the problem of like falling in the molasses? And the more you move, the more sticky you get. They're like, exactly.
That's great.
So it starts off with, we're going to go stop the assassination of JFK. And they stop it. But then these other guys come up and shoot JFK from the grassy knoll. And they're the guys from the grassy knoll. Because
That's really funny.
turns out, stop, like Lee Harvey Oswald misses. And he's like, wait, how did I miss? Turns out there was a guy from the future who stopped him, but he stopped him really well and wasn't ever perceived, like deflected the bullet with some invisible thing. And then the other time travel agents are like, all right, I don't want to kill this man, but we have to kill this man. As nice as he is, we have to kill the president. Oh, let's go to the past. And then they jump through. And at the end of the book, they end up in 1942.
Wow.
To like help out with the atomic bomb in some way.
Oh.
And I haven't read issue 2,
Haven't
but
gotten
it's
any
great.
further than that.
It's super fun. It's super, super fun. The artwork is great. But yeah, that was so it's called Future Proof, and it is by Brian Phillipson, Alex Murillo, and Alex Cormack. And they were all like incredibly nice guys. I talked to them for like 10 minutes. One guy wasn't talking so much, so I was giving him a hard time. So I was like, you must not like your book very much. You're not telling me very much about it. And he's like, and he started to say something, and his friend's like, he doesn't talk much. Like, and we were just joking about it. I gave him a hug and told him I was just kidding, that I liked his book anyway. Because then I was like, oh man, did I just come across as an asshole? I wasn't trying to be an asshole. I was just trying to be.
You're just trying to bring him out of his shell.
I was trying to bring him out of his shell and say, hey, it's cool for you to tell me about your book too.
But turtle can only come out of its shell so far.
I know.
It
And
has
then
to
I was like,
live
no,
in there.
I was an asshole. That was an asshole thing to say. So I pulled it back.
I'm sure he. He'll feel better in a year or two once he's recovered. It'll be okay.
Well, we just gave him the Wednesday Club boost. So
Wednesday Club boost.
Yeah.
The bump. The Wednesday Club bump.
Dozens of people are now.
Yeah.
I mean, Baker's dozens.
At least 7 people went and bought that
7
book
people
right
easily.
now. You're welcome.
I'm secretly Googling a name for a thing that I'm about to do, so somebody else go.
Taliesin, your turn.
If you're looking for it, future movies currently available on Comixology.
Perfect.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Actually, since Chief seems to be so up on the, I figure I've got a little bit of video that I took of a couple of booths.
Yeah.
I figure I'll just like show
Ooh.
that really quickly and like narrate over it and kind of figure that out. If that video can come up. So this is where I buy all of my vintage comics. This is Torpedo Comics. Who are kind of
That's what I was
my
looking
guys.
at.
I
from
loved
the
this
video.
guy.
And like I was
love
just
this
showing
guy.
off, sort of a little bit. I was showing you around. I think. I was going through the House of Mystery covers, and I'll actually show what I actually picked up, and I just love the stuff they had. I asked Steve. I have Steve, my friend, there to show me. We brought out the Batman and Robin, the Ra's al Ghul.
First appearance of Ra's al Ghul. I've always wanted it.
We were looking at the first crossover, the Human Torch and Submariner,
my
and I was like, "What are the most
God.
disturbing cover you have?" He brought out this. Speaking of bees, Donald Duck killing things. Bustle Town, which I'm going to talk about in a bit, which were super nice, and they were selling. Their booth had great little comics and great shirts. Erica was there.
Erica's the worst. Can we all agree on that?
And then
Yeah,
my friend
obviously.
Shin's booth, who does this amazing comic that I'm going to show off, who's this amazing artist and installation artist and sculptor.
Wow.
And I'm going to show the things that I picked up from her booth. And
Oh,
we have to
shame.
like, it's a friend I always have to buy stuff from. She does these
I
amazing.
looked for her. I didn't see her anywhere.
She's stealthy. You have to look for the little creatures in the green
I
hair.
did not see her at all.
Yeah, she was
oh.
hiding
I love
in the
Shane.
corner.
I
There she
follow
is.
her online.
Do you really? Oh, she's the best. She went to Burning Man with us.
Yeah,
last year.
she's part of our Burning Man camp.
Yeah, she's part of our camp.
Neat.
She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing.
So I did buy 2 issues of Bustletown from Becky and Frank, which
Oh, I love Becky and Frank.
Becky and Frank made, and like if you're a fan, I'm gonna throw something really old school out there of Mapletown. This has got a very
Yes.
Mapletown vibe. They're cute creatures. They're trying to make tea for a party. It's adorable. I got some stickers, and like they were also their friends who they were sharing our booth with were selling super cool T-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a couple of. There was like this. Like a couple of the Critical Role kids bought some of their shirts, and I'm gonna go in. And, a bunch of us I'm gonna go in and buy. I need all their shirts. They're great.
yeah.
And then the stuff I got from Torpedo, I got this cover of House of Mystery, which is going to be probably.
Oh, did you
featured,
get it?
Yay!
Oh,
I got that.
that's so cool.
which is just a beautiful, beautiful cover. I'm going to give this a read later. And I got this beautiful cover for Jack Kirby's Fourth World Forever People, featuring one of my favorite weird characters, Beautiful Dreamer, who I've got like a weird love of. and,
Oh,
like, I love
Taliesin,
that
I
Kirby
love you
style.
so much.
This book has already made me friends. And then from Shin, I'm going to show off. Bless her, she got me a couple. I love this series. She's going to be doing more of them of how labeling things and how they work. And this is a drill, and on the back is the parts of a screw and how they work.
Freaking awesome.
And some of her little magical items from her apothecary, magic apothecary, which is actually like a piece of installation art that she built. And then the 2 books I picked up from her were the 2 books I'd had one of them, but they got, I don't want to say stolen. I lent it and knew it was never coming back. The first is called The Tiny Venture Journal. Goes to the Petrified Forest, which she was the artist in residence at the Petrified Forest for a few weeks.
So cool.
And this was her journal, and you can see her style is very, she has this really spectacular watercolor style that really I'm going to find some of
She's
her naturalism,
Absolutely amazing.
which is where her ability to pick up the interesting colors of the terrain and the way that natural world works is really stunning. And it's a fun little meditation on the outdoors and on travel, and it's beautiful. And then the other book I got
Beautiful.
is the Center for Otherworld Science, and it's kind of it's a 2-part story. It's kind of tragic. I call it kind of a meditation on death and loss, and it's kind of interesting. And the first half is almost wordless, and it's from an alien's perspective, and it's very beautiful. And then the second half of the book is actually from like after their, and I don't want to spoil it, their sort of confrontation, is from the humans' perspective who had this confrontation with the aliens. And the humans are all in their little pod suits, so you only know them by the color of their pod suit, and they're sort of coping with the death of one of their people. It's very it's melancholy and dark, but in the way I kind of like. And
like so perfectly Shing. Like,
yeah,
that's so perfectly Shing.
sawdustbear.com, I want to say. Check it out.
I totally follow her.
There are
yes,
very
that's great.
few artists. This is one of those artists that I'm extremely. I mean, not just because she's a friend, but because she's one of the most talented artists that I know, and is consistently putting out spectacular work that I want to invest in, both financially and with physical energy and otherwise.
She got grants from Burning Man, right?
Yes.
Like for her last apothecary thing.
For the apothecary.
So she made this. So like it was like a boxcar, kind of like a boxcar container kind of thing, right? Like
It's a container. You can Google images of the last.
Yeah,
apothecary,
Google
and
Last
it's
Apothecary.
pretty
The premise behind it was that on this alien planet, this alien became obsessed with Earth culture and created their own apothecary shop based on what they interpreted an apothecary to look like. It's like there's so many layers to it, and
it's
it is
intense. Guest starring Matt Mercer. Too.
amazing. Yeah, they had like audio visual stuff in it. It was like a team of like 10 people put this together, but she worked on it for a year of her life and put it out in the middle of the desert. And if you found it, great. If you didn't, then you didn't get to see it because it only existed that one time.
She made this thing called a hobo divination board that's like a little handkerchief with like bottle caps to like tell space fortunes, and like. I know that Chobot doesn't watch the show. Can I say like I'm like planning on picking one up for Chobot? So this is so up her alley. It's
Yeah,
like,
but
Do not tweet that at her.
don't tweet that at her.
But like legit, Shing is one of the most impressive people I think I've ever met in my 38 years of living. Like she's very impressive. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even going to tell the welder story. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So
All right.
this is blowing my mind because this is one of those like con is a wonderful time, and I missed the chance clearly on this to take the people whose art you've run into who have been inspiring you out in the world and actually find them and support them. And I missed the chance to do that for Sawdust Bear, but I did not miss the chance to do that for Jen Bartel, who I'm just. I was gonna say increasingly obsessed with. That sounds creepy. I'm not really. I just like your
You
art
can
a
be
lot.
obsessed.
But I had found her at Emerald City and picked up some things. Yeah. That's my purchase selfie where I'm like barely holding things in frame because I'm, again, bad at taking pictures. But this is what I got. I got this shirt that says support your local girl gang.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's kind of
nope,
spectacular.
wrong way.
There we go.
She's just an incredible artist. She has just a very distinctive style and a great sense of humor, which you can also see in this little pin that I picked up this time, which is the tiny Twitter bird saying, "Don't at me." It makes me laugh a lot.
Don't at me, bro.
So it's I've got a couple of Jen Bartel pins already, but she, for instance, was out of this one at Emerald City. So this is one of those like the joys of going back to someone is that like this time around I got the pins. Let's see. That was technically my turn. But
Oh, okay.
I was going to actually. Can I see the T-shirt again? Because that
Yeah.
art is spectacular.
I know she's so
Kind
good.
of-
It was a real problem that I couldn't take home more art because
wow.
of the firm promise that I made myself. But like, she's spectacular.
Yeah,
Like,
it's amazing.
No, this is like, oh man, it's got like a like.
she does a series called Mermaids Against Misogyny.
Kind of want to see if there's prints of some of that because that's
I
really.
believe there are.
That's kinda
Jen
spectacular.
Bartel.
That's kind of awesome.
She's spectacular.
All right, you've made a sale on mine.
All right. I want to. I don't have your gift
shame, we're
here,
done.
but I do have a picture that I
no.
pulled off the internet of it. Chief, do you have that you can pull up real quick? So I bought you the first issue of Wonder Woman by George Perez.
Wow.
It'll be in the mail to me this weekend, presumably, and I'll bring it in next week. But they didn't. So I went by their booth on Thursday, found it, and was like, I know I want to get this, but maybe there's something else. I'm going to give it a couple more days. And then when I went back to the booth, it was gone. I was like, no, I needed that so badly.
Can't let anything Wonder Woman sit on the shelf this year.
I know. I should have learned my lesson. And the guys behind the booth were like, well, we have another one. We can just ship it to you.
There is another.
And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that if you already have it, it's fine, whatever. I don't know what you already have, but I wanted to get you something Wonder Woman.
I don't think I ever took that #1 home.
Well, there you go. Now
I don't
you have
think
it.
I have it
Now
yet.
you have it. I'll present it to you next week.
And I stopped by the back issue pins for a couple of these, just because I wanted to spend some of my dues on some back issues. So this one is some nice reprints of old school. This is number 198, Wonder Woman.
What a great cover.
Yeah.
Just so much
She's
happening
sort of
there.
introducing a couple of different stories that are going to be in that one, including battles with the God of War. And then this one, which is from a mini-series called Legend of Wonder Woman, but which is, I didn't realize was a thing. Yeah, that's me picking him up. This one, which is drawn by Trina Robbins, who is one of my absolute heroes. And I'm not sure if I had realized like that she worked on Wonder Woman in the 80s.
I forgot about the kangaroos. I had forgotten about the battle kangaroos.
Yeah,
They didn't
it's a
show up in the
thing.
movie, did they?
Not yet.
Oh my God, I forgot. I had a pop-up book when I was a kid, and I was so excited to watch her like knock each other off the kangaroo. And it was like,
Yeah.
I'm having like
you do.
flashback. I haven't thought about this pop-up book in years.
Oh, I love
Oh, it was so cool.
Trina Robbins is a legend of underground comics who also did like some superhero work and is now one of our foremost historians because she has witnessed so much of the comic book industry firsthand. So yeah, thank you. That's so
Wow.
Of course. I care for you both.
sweet.
Thank you for getting stuff. That's nice.
We are also getting into the stuff that I didn't initially buy with cash. Can I show you the funniest thing that I bought with cash?
Yes.
Yes.
This was an artist named Justin Greenwood. He's done a couple of runs on Stumptown, which I think I already have at
I
home.
was like, I feel like I know this name.
I knew I have a bunch of his books already, so I was like, what have you got that I can buy? He was right next door to Jodie, and she was kind enough to introduce me. And he's got a forthcoming book, which I'm absolutely going to need, which is not available yet. But, okay, I'm trying to figure out the right setup for this, because he has this book. It's not out yet. It's a biography of a historical figure. And he was selling pieces of originals, which is to say, when he does a panel and he's not happy with it, he does a patch. He redraws it, pastes the better one on, and goes with that. But he was selling a bunch of these patches. And so I got, even though I had restricted myself from buying like art, I was like, this is so small, it doesn't really count. I got this wonderful piece of original art of Alexander Hamilton.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And as I was handing over the money, I looked down and realized that I was buying him in Jefferson's. I purchased this Hamilton with Jefferson's. I may or may not have remembered to put that picture in, but I think I took a side-by-side just to mark the moment, which I don't know who would have been more happy or angry about, but I think Hamilton wins.
I think
on that
Hamilton
one.
does win on that
Oh,
one.
that's amazing.
And yeah, there we go. There was my side-by-side. I will give you these Jeffersons.
God, that's
Please give me
so
that Hamilton.
funny.
Wow.
And I'm very much looking forward to his comic book biography of Alexander Hamilton, written, I think, by Jonathan Hennessy, which will be out this fall.
Well done.
That's so exciting.
Well done.
And it only happened because you arranged that.
Thank
it would
you.
not
No,
have occurred to me.
so this is exactly what this experiment is supposed to produce. Like this is the vibe. Like anytime I come home come home to my roommates with the big sack of comics, we would all sit around and just like.
Was that at the
what?
House of Many, or?
This was this started back when I was at what was commonly referred to as Neighbor of the Beast in Glendale. So
I
our
want
houses are-
so bad.
I didn't buy this with twos. I just bought this with money. But
Oh, I want.
Oh
I
wow.
want so bad.
Yeah, well, hold on. Let's let the people at home
we
back.
talked last week about exclusives and that they are a terrible thing, but that I often give in to them anyway. And last year I got myself Alana and Marco from Saga.
Oh, I want.
And this year.
Was this an exclusive this year?
I think they'll be selling them like on the website and
Yeah.
the catalog
It
later.
says Skybound though.
I think Skybound is sort of taking an active role in the merchandising side of Image. Skybound is a sub area of Image, but it's a sub area of Image that has really it's the publisher for The Walking Dead and many other things.
I know they're
So, yeah.
also doing games because they do Super Fight. They do Blank Mary Kill, I think.
So I stopped by Image. I
Is
got
that-
this tank top. I
is
got
that not Skybound?
toy, and I got this little monster.
Skybound is Blank. Red Flags and Super Fight and Blank Mary Kill? Not Blank Mary Kill. Blank Mary Kill is just Jack Dyer Studios. Okay. My wife works for Jack Dyer Studios, and they have a deal with Skybound.
So say if they
So I popped by Image and hit up some of their merch.
This is I'm like he comes with alternate feet too, so you can make him stand or sit.
I want Lion Cat more than anything.
And Lion Cat
ever.
can say lying, which I really like. Is like he has a little word bubble.
Lying.
Lying.
And last year I got the pin of Lion Cat saying lying, so now I can have just lies on
Oh my
lies on
God,
lies.
I'm so jealous. You're very
Layers
good at
of lying.
Comic-Con. You're very good at Comic-Con.
You Comic-Con well.
You Comic-Con
I think
well.
this is all going pretty well.
Nope, just you.
This is now the rest of us pale in comparison. Oh no, you didn't.
What?
You got Motor Crush. No.
Oh, I did. I did.
I couldn't find the booth.
This was actually, I got very, very lucky. This was supposed to be for, I got this from writer Brendan Fletcher on his way to the Motor Crush meetup after I had seen him on a really, really wonderful panel for Image with a bunch of great creators like Teenie Howard. I met Nicola Scott. She's great.
Like I really love Babs's work. I really
Yep. This is
like
just,
Babs's
you
work.
don't think that you're into sports, but you will love this book about
It's
motorcycle
so-
racing.
It's very Speed Racer. It's like a modern, like exciting. It's got like
And it's called Motor Crush? I've
have
never
it.
heard of it.
Amazing
I
world
have it.
building.
It's amazing.
It's basically they've just ended their first arc. They started in like January of this year.
Okay, so it just
It's an
came out
Image
this
book.
year.
It's the team that did the Batgo revamp.
Okay.
Brendan Fletcher, Cameron Stewart, and Babs Tarr
Gotcha,
doing
okay.
a creator-owned thing about this like highly sort of reality TV racing kind of like.
It's very speed. It's like motorcycle
She's a
gang
star
Speed Racer.
and
awesome.
this is a mysterious figure from her past. This is an omnipresent little recording device, like sort of like a dupe, but that's
awesome.
Always. It's so like there's
It's
so much
so
great
good.
like very intelligent world building, like semi-futuristic stuff about like that they have to stop and sort of answer some questions from your fans from this floating ball who's with them at all times, or their sponsors
Yeah.
will like withdraw their support. It's a great book.
Yeah, I pitched it. I pitched it on Mothership a while ago, and it's very much like it is like the modern energy of.
Hey, it's Hector!
It's Hector.
Hey!
It's like the modern energy
It's the modern energy of you've totally thrown me because I love that shirt. Of Speed Racer, but with a modern vibe and with like this punk rock Tron attitude to the whole thing, and I love this book so much.
Oh, man.
We're
I'm
gonna be
also
talking about it.
a nut for both Kate Leth and the Adventure Zone, so I had to stop by Topatico. Haven't even told her I bought all these things yet. She probably could have. But I wanted to buy them. These wonderful stickers for the D&D podcast Adventure Zone and this enamel pin from Kate Leth.
I forgot that I got
Topatico's the best place at con, by the way.
There's
Always go to Topatico.
And free stickers are always or like cheap stickers are a great way to remember an artist you like. I've got the Cryptic Research Library tea room, and then our friends who actually we're going to have the imockery.com kids are making this amazing video game that I'm really excited about. They gave me this imockery.com gave me something shiny. Now I am happy, and it is just a big
And
little
that's
sticker
Bar?
that says
His last name is Bar?
Yeah, iMockery gave me something shiny. Now I'm happy.
That's great.
And
So-
that's going to go somewhere fun.
He gave
You
us
bought-
this.
oh,
No, he gave it to
you.
us because my wife gave him a copy of a Blank
We
Mary
finally
Kill.
have some crossover.
So
What am I
He gave us
looking
this.
at?
Look at that.
this is the Four Seasons, all in 8-bit, and it's all pop culture references, all in 8-bit. My wife and I,
wow.
over dinner one day, got this far in identifying each one, and that was 40 minutes. It's just that dense.
It's
That's
beautiful.
amazing. Who
Yeah.
did this?
Roger Barr, last name is B-A-R-R. My wife is off screen, everybody.
Hi.
My wife, lovely Brittany. But yeah, he was amazing and very nice, and he has that game that you're talking about
Gravedigger.
called Gravedigger. And
Yeah.
he had that on display at his booth, and it looked super fun. It's on Steam. He's releasing it on Steam.
Yeah,
soon.
a bunch of us were playing it a lot.
Yeah? I haven't played it. Is it fun?
Yes,
There
it's really fun.
There was a little kid there playing it, just like
It's got
going through it.
it's got a bit of Burger Time kind of vibe,
Yeah.
but like with a goth veneer. It's very much my vibe.
You're into golf?
Eh,
Yeah.
I dabble. I dabble in eyeliner.
Can I
Yeah.
you
go.
got your next one?
No,
queued up?
you go ahead. You go ahead. Please.
So this was a cool, like, in addition to comics and normal comic-related paraphernalia, you can find other cool stuff. So, like, I bought a lot of dice. I think everyone I know bought a lot of
we
dice.
all bought a lot of
I didn't
dice.
buy a lot of dice.
Oh, well.
We can get you some dice. We know some people.
No, exactly. I was like, I don't need
went-
to buy dice. I've
I
got
went
plenty of
dice
dice.
shopping with Sam and Jody. And
Nice.
It was a it was disturbing. Yeah, there was just like I was ready for them to like make it hail, like just throw dice at us. And yeah.
But one of the coolest things I saw was talking to actually one of our community members, and I was like, "What's that? What have you got there?" And it was this gorgeous little D&D players folder.
Oh, that's so cool.
Dice are
By
cursed, I tell
Life
you.
of the Party, The Realities of an RPGer, which was the very funny comic by Travis Hansen. So I went and I tracked down Travis Hansen's booth on your advice. And not only did I get this snazzy folder, which will help me keep from you all know that my character sheets are so wrinkly and it's a problem. So the first slight upgrade is coming in the form of this. And when you buy these beautiful folders featuring his characters from Travis Hansen, he will draw your character for you.
That is amazing.
Which he did with about half a second of warning where I was like, oh yeah, I'm playing an Endorian in a thing. Showed him one piece of somebody's fan art, and he...
Lower.
Is it working?
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I'm trying
Yay.
to... Hold on.
Yeah, you're good.
There we go.
Yay.
There we go. On like no notice, he just drew my doc up here in the corner.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I have an original of my own character by this super rad artist. So thank you very much for the tip, and thank you for your wonderful work, Travis Hansen.
So I've only got a couple more things here to show. This is actually my friend Jack Conway always gets us.
Wait. We're having a walk-on.
Oh, hey!
Hey!
It's a Hector Navarro, everybody.
Wait, our first walk-on, I might add.
Really?
You
You
are
are
our
our very first like
You're our very
walk-
first.
I know. Take a look.
I
Take a
got
look.
it. I got it.
Oh, you got it.
I
Okay,
got
all right.
one. It's great. It's great. I replaced the sitting legs with the standing legs. So
Nice.
my lion cat is standing and
Uh-huh.
still staying lying.
Are they
Excellent.
Are they pegs or magnets?
pegs?
They're pegs.
They're
Okay.
pegs, unfortunately.
I'm down either
Yeah.
way.
They couldn't splurge McFarlane with the magnets, but they're still really good. And I have my the last Saga figures that they came out with.
Alana
Alana
Marco.
Marco.
Come on.
You've got both Invincibles
I
too,
do.
right?
I got all the Invincibles.
What's up, dog?
See you guys later. Bye.
See you in a bit.
Peace. So my friend Jack Conway, our friend Brittany and my friend Jack Conway always buys us like a little bitty.
Yeah, I
just
ran
a
into
tiny
you
little
guys
bitty gift.
for like 5 minutes because
Yeah.
we were looking at Sexy Nightwing. We'll get to that.
I can't wait for sexy Nightwing talk. You know I love me some sexy Nightwing.
It got weird this year. I was really enjoying it.
But we always get dinner with him before we all head home, and he and his wife, and he got me a Marvel vs. Wildstorm card pack, which I didn't even know existed.
What?
So I have them all here. He bought me 3 packs, and I just combined them all. And I've got, let's see, this is Grunge vs. Sandman here from Wildstorm.
Oh my God.
And then we've got my personal favorite is no surprise, Tapestry versus Doctor Strange.
Whoa.
And look at the Strange that is. That is
Wait, is that the Straczynski?
that's Straczynski Strange.
Oh my God.
That is Straczynski Strange. That's,
which is I like
that's a
that.
whole other.
I have a whole thing about that graphic novel.
Yeah, I like it and dislike it all at the same time. I never know where I stand with that
We're
one.
gonna have to have a talk about that graphic
But
novel
here's
at some point.
what might be one of the cooler cards I've ever seen or possessed. It's a clear silver surfer card.
What?
Look at how cool that is.
Look at the power cosmic coursing through that card.
Oh my
Look
God.
at how cool that is.
Like I want to light that. Like I want to put that in a light box.
I know. Here, I'll let you take a look at that, sir.
That's so
Yeah, that
cool.
was one of my. I love that. It's a fun little tradition that we have with them.
Yeah,
So
no, I
can't remember-
ran into you guys because Kotobukiya, who actually, well,
Speaking of, for Christmas last year, I bought Brittany the Squirrel Girl figure that Kotobukiya does.
I think
Is
I
it
have it in here.
Kotobukiya?
Kotobukiya.
But it didn't come until
That I can pronounce.
June, which is awesome because that's her birthday month. So I was like, Merry Christmas, you get it on your birthday.
Two words, one stone.
I'm trying.
And it looks great. It looks
so
great. If I
figures
can
and
get her
statues
permission,
are one
I'll
of
bring
those
it in.
things I really love.
She gives me a thumbs up.
I have it.
I won't break it, I promise.
So there, it's down at the bottom.
I think it's probably easily my favorite one they've done so
Oh
far.
God, it's one of the best ones that
It's
they've done.
really, and it's so pretty, and it's next to my Doctor Strange statue that
Wait till we,
that my mother-in-law gave me for Christmas.
Can we get close-up cam really quick? Oh, there.
Yeah,
Yay.
perfect. Right down here.
Down there, and look at that
That's-
look at that
that's
Miss
the,
Marvel.
look at that Kamala.
I'm so excited. So
Oh, I saw so much Kamala Khan.
There was so much Kamala Khan. It was great.
It was so great. It was like, maybe the world isn't so bad.
Who's the genius who finally figured out that like making comfortable costumes for people to wear in 95-degree weather would be a good idea?
I know.
Oh, I love it.
Because surprisingly, Doctor Strange not comfortable to
Not
wear in
that
90-degree
comfy.
weather. You know why? Blanket. Giant red blanket.
So
I did also stop at
Oh,
this
yeah,
random
please.
just vintage stuff booth where I got the unbelievably good 1987.
reading is strength.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It just couldn't, like, this is my new favorite.
looks
Everything
like-
I
oh
got
my
this
God,
weekend is
that's
my favorite
awesome.
thing, but this is
That's
my favorite thing.
phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
I think that's a Jose Luis Garcia Lopez Wonder Woman, I believe. Just holding just a big old book, like
No,
that's most of the size of her body, because reading is strength.
Reading is strength, and it takes strength to read. Actually, that is now confirmed what the quote of the episode is going to be. Too,
I'm
which really
down to
excited
my
about.
last 2 souvenirs, so we can.
Star Pilot 6, yes, I did get her an actual birthday gift.
I will say Kotobukiya is one of those interesting companies. They make affordable statues and toys, which I really like. Like their stuff is really pretty. Like here's their Wonder Woman that they're doing this year. I'm really excited about.
Cool.
And I don't have the room for a ton of the stuff, but I'm allowed to occasionally buy. So I bought a Flash action figure for them. But their thing, and they do one of the things they do is they do a series of Bishojo statues, which are like the sexy girl statues, which are they're fun and like they manage to make them playful and kind of fun mostly, and they do like a whole bunch of fun stuff in that direction, and great statuary. But they decided to finally start doing sexy boy statues. And
Is it Sexy Nightwing?
we're going to talk about sexy Nightwing.
Yes!
Called the Ikemen, which are and let me tell you, there was a crowd around this statue all of con. There were just a crowd of people taking pictures and so excited about these. And I'm going to show
That
and, like,
Nightwing booty, though?
that Nightwing booty. Nightwing is showing off the booty. He's also he's going
yes.
shush.
Yes, that's so great!
And he's kind of just dangling his mask in his other hand.
He's so coy.
Coming up right after one will be Red Hood, both with and without hood, with the hand behind the back, kind of like lazy. And they're eventually going to be doing the whole Bat family, with tough Batman, Nightwing, and Tim Drake, kind of like being a little like let's be serious now, and then like a kind of creepy Damien, like doing a little bit of a. It's a little young, but
Like
like, it's a bit of a creepy Damien.
The weird model pose.
Yeah,
like
he's doing the He's pouty, but like a little weird. But they're doing the whole set, and like, man, it was like I'm like this is like there's something about this is kind of genius, and I love it.
I love the future sometimes.
The future is brilliant.
Let me throw this out. Favorite Robin?
Drake.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Well, no.
I like Damien, but Drake's my favorite.
I feel like this is because I actually had a whole rant about this because because Stephanie Brown was briefly Robin. And I think that she was highly underused and could have been like that. I feel like there was a wasted potential of Stephanie Brown as Robin.
Okay.
She had the best of Drake plus the best of Grayson, and like because Grayson's really positive, and then Drake is like kind of the serious, and she straddled that really well, like where she was fun and bright, but also kind of like a little dark and edgy too.
Do you have one?
I don't have an answer to this question.
It's
So
okay.
I'm gonna
It's okay.
cheat and say Carrie Kelly.
Oh, nice.
Well, fine.
Nice.
That's fair.
I'll take it.
Slingshot.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. But yeah, they did a chrome Flash figure that I don't have a picture of that I'm really,
We've
really
got
happy.
Mommy Panda says Damien is creepy. Star Pilot 6, Stephanie Brown, Jimmy Eat Meatloaf, Dick, Comic Book Addict, Dick, codename Eichel, Tim
The
Drake.
truth is that Dick Grayson is the classic Robin.
He is the classic. But when Dick is Batman, wow, all of this is going to sound so weird on the internet later. I feel that Damien is the right Robin for Dick Grayson.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
agree.
really
I
enjoying
agree.
the Batman and Son, Superman and Son stuff right now. I'm reading all the Rebirth.
I haven't read those yet.
Superman, Batman taking the kids out and trying to get them to get along, and like the interplay between Superboy and Robin is amazing.
You're selling me.
much.
You're selling me.
Well, yeah, it's good stuff.
all right.
I'll
I'm
get
gonna
into it
race
later.
through my last
let's do
two
it.
keepsakes
Oh, that's cool.
from
That's
Comic-Con.
cool.
The
That's
things
cool.
like that you like to mark that Comic-Con is a really special experience, and
That's so cool. Well
I
done.
get to keep this guy.
Yeah.
This was from our panel on Friday. I think it was years ago. I think it was actually the writer. Oh, that's a picture from our panel.
Yep.
Right there.
I took that one.
I was
Oh,
in the
that's
very, very
awesome.
back.
Thank you.
You're
There was,
welcome.
I think it was the writer Amy Berg who was talking to a bunch of us after one of these panels and sort of was the first person to be like, hey, grab those. You're going to want them. And it occurred to me, like, these are pretty special memories.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then my other most special memory, as every year, this is my program from the Eisner Awards.
Damn.
It is super beat up because I was keeping notes.
Amazing.
I got to be a +1 for the brilliant and talented Jodie Hauser, who unfortunately did not take home the prize this year.
This year.
But
year.
you know, we will look forward to many, many more. And it was a wonderful show.
I talked to her about that a little bit when I saw her at her booth on Sunday, and she said she actually got to talk to Lemire, who won for.
So the winner for Best New Series was Black Hammer, which, as you know, we all loved very much.
Yeah, and speaking with him, I don't know if he was like, "It's okay, kid, you'll get there." But they were just talking. He's like, you know what? It's taken me 10 years. Like I was nominated for 10 different awards, and I finally won one. You know.
Jeff Lemire had his first Eisner,
So
which is
after 10
crazy.
nominations, so
Finally did it, kid.
you
Well
finally
done.
did it, kid. You finally did it. All right. Do we need to do our 5-minute topic, Liz? Should we do that now?
We can
Yeah.
we can
Some
do our
suggestions
fiber.
for our
Cool.
five?
Well, we have the suggestion.
Sorry,
It's what comic book character would make the best roommate or the worst?
Oh.
The best and the worst? Best and worst.
It's gonna be on screen, guys.
Ooh, okay.
Oh man.
I can.
So we'll
I,
just
do you want
watch
me
our
to? Do you want me
monitor?
to start?
One, and then everybody gets two.
Okay, minute, 2 minutes free for all.
All right, I can start if you guys like.
Please
right.
do.
All right, best roommate, worst roommate. All right. It's going down. Well, I gotta
for it.
say,
Oh no,
like,
it's yellow. Okay.
oh no, why is it yellow? It's gonna be hard to
It's
see.
all good,
That's
it's all
okay.
good.
We'll work it.
Go.
The worst roommate, and I think the movies prove this, would probably be Deadpool. I don't think I would want to live with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Deadpool leaves things.
Yep.
He leaves half-eaten food. It is the messy. Anytime you see the interior of an apartment, is one of the most dirty apartments that you ever see. Is the Deadpool apartment. It always looks awful, filled with half-made IKEA furniture. Best roommate, on the other hand, and I got to sit behind this one, would be the Flash.
Why?
Yeah.
Wally West or Barry, actually either of them, because you could just call ahead and say that this place better be spotless, and it will be. I mean, they'll have the time to clean. They'll clean.
Yeah.
They'll keep it tidy, and like they're back and forth so fast it never really bothers them. They can just they can just quietly phase through the apartment, no problem. I feel like a speedster would be like a really good roommate.
Yeah. Okay.
Like if they walk into the bathroom inappropriately, you'll never know. They'll be out of there before anything happens. Like it's great.
Okay.
They might eat a lot.
Best roommate. I don't know. My first instinct, weirdly, is Jean Grey. She spent
best? Okay.
She has spent so many years being den mother to all of the X-Men that, like, while you should never expect your roommate to sort of take care of you or clean up after you or like be your emotional pillow, she's just extremely good at those things. And like she would just generally like she's fun to hang out with and she's super understanding. And you know, a little bit of telekinesis goes a long way when you're rearranging furniture. So I think that would probably be a good mix. Who would be the worst roommate? Worst roommate you could have would have to be Speedball. Because your stuff's just getting knocked over. No matter where you put it, it's over there now.
Yeah, good call.
He's bouncing off the walls and it's a problem.
Worst roommate for me, Invisible Woman. Because you never know if she's there or not. Like,
Shoot, that's a good point.
like it'd be like I would be paranoid all the time. I'd be like, watching TV. Are you there? Are you there? Stop it! I know you're there. Are you there? But are you for real there? Like that's all I would do all the time. You would never know. And then, not to mention, if you piss her off and you're walking to the kitchen like, oh, gonna go get some coffee, got my coffee, skaboosh, like you run into an invisible wall that you didn't know was there. Now there's hot coffee all over you. You gotta clean it up. She would be the worst roommate.
You're assuming
Who's the
she's
best?
very
Who's the best?
passive aggressive, but yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she is. Maybe she's not. I don't know. But you would never know. You would never see it coming.
Best.
Best would be Doctor Strange.
Do you have like a reason?
We would be best friends forever. And he could be like, we want to fly to the moon. And I'd be like, sure. And then we'd go. And I'd be like, I sure do wish I had some chocolate right now. And he'd be like, boom, there it is.
You think?
I'm glad that you're like
You think
harnessing
that's what would
the
happen?
mystic powers of the world to create chocolate on the moon.
Hey, why wouldn't you?
Wouldn't it mostly be like, you may not make sound for the next 36 hours in this house, or the invading hordes of whatever will...
No, because he'll go to his room, put up a sigil to keep it all silent, and he'll be like, hey, Dr. Strange, I could really use like 7 other rooms.
But like,
Cool,
you know
there they
what's
are.
in the fridge though, right?
No, I don't use that fridge. I use my fridge.
It's gonna
You're
get full of
assuming a
his
separate
stuff.
fridge,
You know
I feel,
it's
is,
gonna
like,
get full of
really-
his stuff.
It's going to get full of his stuff, but
his
he's
stuff's
Dr.
weird.
Strange. He can create his own fridge.
I like the idea of Jean Grey, by the way. I gotta go, just because you'd just be sitting there and be like, oh, I got hot tea. How did you? Oh, of course, that's how you knew.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It's just really needed a cup
Jean.
of hot. Oh, and yep, there's milk, no sugar. Okay.
Wow, you're
great.
very
Plus, I
good.
assume all the other women of the X-Men would just come around and hang out all the time, which
Ooh,
would be
that
a
is-
side.
No, that's
is kind of a
like a
plus.
good life skill though.
Yeah.
Is knowing just to be chill like
Someone who
that.
understands quiet time, but who also has a large and lovely circle of friends, and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
won't get your house destroyed.
See, that's another argument for Invisible Woman from the Fantastic Four, because you've got the Thing coming over, and then he's always getting into a fight with Johnny, and then they get into a flame. Oh, you hothead! Oh, you rock monster! And then they fight each other, and now your stuff's all over the place.
You need action figures for this to do this properly. I'm really feeling them. I'm feeling the action.
Like the
action
Fantastic Four, just in general, would be terrible roommates, which is why they live in the Baxter Building all on their own.
Yeah, they have like their own
I
system.
think you're right about Deadpool, though.
No,
I think
like
that,
that
Yeah,
just
Deadpool's
sounds
gross.
like,
awful.
there's
Yeah.
no way that dude pays his rent on time.
No.
Oh, there's no way.
No, and he's not polite about it, and his friends are awful. I mean, there's nothing like the only thing worse I could think of was Madrox because he would never be alone. Madrox, the multiple man.
I know.
Because like he'd always be talking to someone. Because why wouldn't you? And be like, oh God, you always have someone over. Can you please not? Oh
See,
God.
Deadpool would
it's
also
you.
be
It's
talking to
just you.
somebody, but it would be himself and or the audience who
Oh,
you
the
don't know is
audience
there,
sock
which
puppet.
must be weird.
And we're
Yeah.
done.
And
And
we're
now we
done.
have to close it off. And this was ridiculous. And thank you for watching our ridiculous tiny
is-
5 minutes of strangeness for the Wednesday Club.
From Taliesin Jaffe, Amy Dallen, and Matt Key, that was our question in 5 minutes. Thank you to Half a Ring Circus for that question.
Well done. Well done.
We now return you to our regularly scheduled show.
Well, real quick, I've got one more thing I want to show. It's a graphic called Silver by Stephen Frank. I went by their booth. I'd never heard of this book. Like when I was in the alternative press, I would just walk up and say, "Tell me about your book." And if I was sold, I'd be like, "That sounds great. Here's money. Here's Wednesday Club. I'm going to talk about it. Is that cool?" And of course, they were like, "Well, yeah, go review my book. That sounds great." So when they were pitching this book to me, they said this was actually nominated for an Eisner the year it came out against Saga and Sex Criminals the year those books both came out.
That's got to feel a little rough, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the guy said, the guy echoed your sentiments, but I was nominated.
Yeah.
And that puts me on reading list. That's great. That was great for me. Like, that was awesome. And he said, plus, it didn't hurt to have all the image guys going, Silver, Steven, who is that guy? Maybe we need to talk to that guy. So I highlighted one of my favorite pages in the book. This is a pitch.
Ooh.
First of all, let me show you the artwork. And this is one of the bigger reasons I bought it, if I can get my fingers to work here, is because it looks like Magnola. It's like got that very
wow,
simple, just very simple work, simple compositions,
lot
but
of
tells the
ink.
whole story. But I highlighted one page.
I'm already so happy.
To give a pitch for this book. It's the great granddaughter of Van Helsing saying to a den of thieves, "Your treasure's in a castle full of vampires, so who's in?" So they discover that there's a gigantic collection of silver worth millions of dollars in this castle. But you can only get into this castle when it appears during these 3 or 4 specific days in May, when every vampire in the world goes to this castle to celebrate and feast upon the living who are trapped in this castle. So this team of thieves gets together to go rob all the silver from this castle that's been hidden there for millennia.
Oh my God.
I've only read the first, but I will be reading all of them. It was,
I'm down for a vampire heist film.
oh my God, it
Vampire
was
Heist book
like,
is
I was
out.
reading this like,
so good.
how has this not been optioned? I will option it. I don't have money, but I can figure this out. Like, it's a great book. It's a great, great, great book. I loved every second of this. And the art, like I said, the artwork is so like reminiscent of Magnola. Just like, it was great. So, Silver, go buy it. I'm not even a vampire person. I just love it.
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff I haven't read yet, but like Native Drums, which I haven't read yet. Scumburbia, Towards a Hot Jew, which was this ex-Israeli female officer who wrote some autobiographical work that I'm really looking forward to, with great art. These guys who did a book called Visual Tapas and Zombie Shark Gear, who we actually found because they did some Critical Role art. So
Oh, nice.
like I came and checked out their stuff, and I'm really like the Visual Tapas is just like them as like a comic book group having a lot of fun with design and building all sorts of great stuff. And like this is stuff I'm still going through because it's only been 72 hours and I'm still decompressing. Oh, and is there anything we like?
Well, let me Septima Okrazelli says, what is alternative press? And I feel like that's an important question
That's
to
a very
address.
good question. Alternative press is basically the notion of like there's larger. God, my brain has just
So in
completely
the
turned off.
comic book world, you've got
you.
big publishers like Marvel and DC, some of which are owned by larger companies, some of which are standalones. These days, companies like IDW, Image, and Dark Horse have pretty good pedigrees and are pretty substantial publishers. But you're always going to have the small press, which just literally means we are a publisher, but we're quite small, or alternative press, which is sort of a we are deliberately small.
We put out three books, and they have staples that you can see, kind of.
Yeah, so I think alternative press probably as a title became pretty common, like in the 90s, around the time alternative music and alternative other, like it was sort of a word connoting intentional departure from the mainstream. But it can be used interchangeably with small press to just sort of indicate that like a smaller house is doing something a little off the beaten path.
Yeah, it's the indie music of comic books.
Yeah.
Thank
but
you,
like
my brain
really
totally
indie,
turned
like
off.
super indie, like even like self-publishing and stuff like that, like right.
And
What's become really
Like,
interesting
yeah.
in the last 15 years is that like the internet has made it so that you can do something that you would originally have stapled together and taken around and sold to a maximum of 27 people, but millions of people can read it, and you can end up as Noelle Stevenson with Nimona and a book deal and like do it the exact same way you would have been doing it if you
Amazing.
were stapling them together in 1992.
Comics.
Speaking of, Chief has his own indie comic that you can go find on Comixology. I always
That's
want to
right.
press that because that's amazing that you did that, Chief.
We're actually
Kid Cop.
We're actually starting to run out of time.
Yeah, we are out of time.
We are out
we
of
should
time.
probably close up.
So we should probably like start rounding everything up.
Yep.
Because in a little bit we have to start setting up for some sort of Star Trek show. I guess. Are we doing a Star Trek?
Shield
Are you on
tomorrow?
that show?
I can't
Is that a
believe
thing
I
that
got
you're
a
doing?
picture. It's my doctorate, sir.
That's
We're going to start
so
setting up for
fun.
Shield of Tomorrow, so that
Do we
you
know
guys
what we're
can check
talking
that
about
out.
next week yet?
We don't know. We haven't. We're going to have that conversation when
I've
we go
got some
outside.
ideas, but nothing
We'll
we've
have some
committed to
ideas.
yet.
We'll let you guys know on Twitter about what we're going to be talking about next week, and feel free to send us suggestions. Tell the people at home who you are.
First of all, thanks for the Discord that you guys put together. That's
Yes.
awesome. I'm excited to be a part of that, and I'll hopefully be able to check in on that every day and say hello to the community. My name is Matt Key, at the Matt Key. Also Java Shambhala on the Instagram that I never use, that my wife is trying to get me to use more often. Yeah, you can catch me on
Smirking
Marvel
off
Movie
screen
News.
right
I just did a giant 2-hour show yesterday about everything. 2 hours. It was awesome. About all the stuff that I saw in Hall H.
Nice.
So
Check it
go
out.
check that out. Marvel Movie News.
I'm Enthusi Amy everywhere. My name is Amy Dallen. You can find me there. And did y'all settle on Wednesdaisies?
Yeah, Wednesdaisies.
Wednesdaisies?
That's
like
the name
our
of
Wednesday Club,
our-
when,
yeah.
the Wednesdaisies.
Wednesdaisies.
I love
As a
it.
former Daisy Brownie and Girl Scout, not mad at it.
They called me the Nerdster Supreme, I believe.
That's actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
You're going to need a cloak.
Thank you. And it was so great to meet a bunch of you at Comic-Con.
And we should also, before we go, we should also thank Ken Wynn for his amazing
Can we get a good shot of this,
destruction
like,
of Comic-Con.
apocalyptic post-con
Apocalyptic. Oh, we're gonna-
loveliness?
I will. And I'll say that my name is Taliesin Jaffe. I'm executive goth pretty much everywhere that counts. You can see me. You can see me on the Wednesday Club every Wednesday. You can see me on Critical Role. You can see me on Dread. We're both of Amy and I on Dread, which is wrapping up really
Yes.
soon, which is going to be great.
It's an amazing show.
And
So
I'm
fun.
probably going to be popping up in a few more places on the channel next week. So like you may see me on a few other shows.
Oh,
Are we official? Can I say that?
Did you agree?
I did.
Yeah,
I'm doing
next Wednesday, watch Minds and Crafts.
for a special
We're gonna have
crossover.
part 2 of the card party.
It's going to be crazy. Card Party
how
Part 2, Electric
fun.
Boogaloo. And I don't know if I've done this quote before, but I'm going to end with it because you reminded me of it. It's a Mark Twain quote, which is, "A man who does not read has no advantage over a man who can't." So enjoy, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Oh, beautiful.